Mike, put your pants back on.
What? Oh, shit. Okay, I'll put my pants on. Okay, and then start the show right after. Okay.
Okay.
Right, cool.
Okay.
All right. Oh, son of a gun. It says we're live.
Oh, well. Oh, well. There's no pants required.
And keep them off. You're good.
Yeah. Good evening, kids. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. How you doing? It is, what fucking day is this? Thursday?
Thursday.
There goes the monetization. Not even a minute in, and I got the first F word in already.
I didn't say an F word.
I said me. I.
Oh.
Yeah. And that voice you hear, of course, is Mike, the Mexican Iron Man. How you doing?
Well, I'm really crappy today, Tom, because according to Hollywood, I'm crappy.
You are. You're crappy dude.
Crappy do. Who are you? A Mexican fan that Hollywood doesn't want no more.
And also with us, the one, the only Script Doctor PhD. How you doing?
Hello. Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing today?
We are crappy.
Right.
We're crappy fans. We're crappy people. I've had a crappy life. And it's all my fault for being white. And male. Don't forget the male part.
Oh, wow. So this is what's been circulating the internets in the last few hours?
I have a penis and I'm ashamed
And
that I only like to use it for straight sex. Okay? I'm ashamed.
Oh my God, that's awful. Why would you say that? Tom?
I know. I'm such a horrible human being. I can't do that.
Oh my God, why would you use your thingy in that way? Golly.
I am super straight. Okay, I can't help it.
Oh.
I admit it.
Oh God. How am I on this show if that's what you're gonna do with your thingamajigger?
Hey, it's only long enough for a thingamajig. And of course, it wouldn't be a Midnight's Edge After Dark if we weren't joking about penises within the first 5 minutes. And Snowdub says, the peen wants what it wants. And that is true. And Duck Nation says, it's time to cancel Tom. Haven't I already been canceled like 3 times over? Hey,
yeah, I think 2 more cancellations and you get a free sub sandwich.
Yes. Or at least a crappy version of the home game. And we got Vigilante Williamson in the chat. How are you doing? Oh, Dash Dees, I'm so sorry. It's just I just don't have enough for the rest. I let you down. Don't let me down.
Wait.
Don't let me down. And we're demonetized. So yeah, as Mike was reiterating, we're a bunch of crappy peoples. You want to tell everybody why we're so crappy, Mike?
Well, because I don't know. Well, it's hard to figure. I'm not sure if it's because I'm a crappy person or I have a crappy ideas about my fandom or I have a crappy attachment to characters that I once loved. I just think I'm crappy across the board.
That could very well be.
You know what? But you know what? There's one person that can save the day and provide leadership. Actually, 2 people. 2 people could provide leadership to get us into the weekend. That'd be Sarah Michelle Gellar and the great Kevin Smith.
You know what I think we need?
What?
Superman. Dun, 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 dun. He's muted.
God. You know, I gotta say, the Sarah Michelle Gellar thing, she's talking about guys who are 40. She's older than that.
Yeah, I know. We haven't even got
married to an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason he ever got work was because of her.
Love your shirt. By the way, and welcome, Jesse.
How you doing?
I don't know if you worked today or not, but
yeah.
Hopefully you had a good one. Did you?
Oh yeah, every day. Unless they fire me.
Oh, I hope not. So that, of course, is Jesse Miller. Welcome, buddy. He says we got Valiant Renegade in the chat as well. Thank you so much for being here. Says nerd alert. Hail Mead, hail chat, and wrenches. Oh, we've got some nerdy stuff to talk about tonight. And basically, no one really knows exactly what we're doing but me, outside of the Orko. But I've got a few things here. I want some reactions anyway out of everybody. Marigo Ann, if I'm saying that right, is it Marigo? Marigo?
I think so. Yeah, Marigo. Yeah.
Marigo sounds more right. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Sends in £2. Ooh, fancy stuff. Smith is apparently picking on Clownfish TV again.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Wow. Again, I know he made a video where he there's a couple people he could have been making fun of. Let's be real, but you know, you know what pisses me off about this, and not so much pisses me off, but you know what grinds my gears is I was the first one to point out Kevin Smith wasn't a damn fan. But anyway,
why doesn't somebody just make a giant long
no one gives me credit for
video of him crying like a bitch?
They probably have. There's probably 20 of them out there.
Just like 30 minutes of him crying.
I'm sure there's more than that. Stephen Otten sends in $5. Thank you so much. Says, "Hail Tom, Mike, script wrenches," and he sent this before Jesse was here, so I'm sure he would have included Jesse if Jesse had been here when he did. But he says in chat, so all you guys out there, this is for you. I'm going to send you each and every one of you. There's 244 of you. You each get a third of a penny.
Wait, what?
I will send it to you. Just send me your address, and I'll send you a third of the penny of the super chat.
I'm going to cash in the stamp.
Or wait. No, it'd be like 2 cents. Y'all got 2 cents a piece. 2.5 cents. My math's backwards. Why didn't somebody correct me? Oh, I remember now, because math's racist. Stephen Otten says, "Save us, Dennis Favre."
Any Villeneuve?
You're our only hope. Hashtag Dune. We're going to talk a little Dune here in a little bit. We watched the like 3-minute trailer we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A proper trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that yet, Jesse, you might want to take a chance to check that out, because I know if you've been busy, you might not get a chance to see it yet. Dropped on Warner Brothers YouTube channel. Lupita, MIM's ex-wife, Mexican Iron Man's got an ex-wife named Lupita.
She's in Canada.
Tom, yeah, in Canada, right?
So she's a Canadian Mexican.
No. This is ladies and gentlemen in the stream. This is a false accusation. This stems from a Jerry Springer. What?
No, I'm listening because I'm curious.
Well, okay. All right. So Mexican Iron Man may or may not have gone to a bachelor party, and may or may not have ended up in Tijuana, and may or may not have ended up in an alleyway with a stripper from a local strip club. And that virtual stripper may or may not be this Lupita. And marriages in Mexico don't count in the United States. Build a wall. Hashtag build that wall. Hashtag build that wall. Come on, Jesse.
I told you the wall is not going to work, Mike.
So is this a high-end club, and was it really a woman?
No.
You can build the wall all you want, but if she's on the other side on Canada, it's not going to work.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you build a wall, but you still went down there.
No. Mexican Iron Man didn't have a pocket full of hundreds. He had a pocket full of like centavos.
Well, I got it.
Is the wall to keep you from going there? Like
no, Jesse. Here's all you got to do: just put up mirrors.
Oh yeah,
because then they'll think everybody's trying to get out.
Exactly.
Lupita says Mexican Iron Man owes her alimony.
Nope.
That's funny that you bring up alimony, because that's going to come up later, but I want to get everybody's reaction on that. There's a story I don't know if you guys are aware of that I thought was kind of funny. Kenneth, or not so much funny, but sad. Kenneth LaRock sending in more Canadian shekels. Thank you so much for that. Sends us a super sticker. Do you see what it is, guys?
It's a super pair.
It's a super pair. Super pair of tits.
Just a super pair with a cape flying.
That works. You know, they need titty super stickers. And it looks like Lupita is still mad at you here. She says to ask about the donkey.
Okay, everybody, that's
tequila and a donkey show. Mexico.
Hamdinger, you may be onto something here. See, Hamdinger's on top of shit. Vigilante Williamson, you got to say it like that, by the way. Says family court never loses. Mexican Iron Man. Well, since Hamdinger kind of spoiled the surprise, I'm gonna get everybody's. We'll start off with this. Fuck it. Poor Dr. Dre. Did everybody forget about Dre?
Of course.
No.
Well, his ex-wife sure as fuck didn't.
Oh.
She's getting $300,000 a month.
What?
In fucking spousal support.
How do I marry her? How do I marry him? Or
half. I'll take half his shit.
You know what? I don't censor me if this is inappropriate, but I saw a list of the 10 richest women on the planet. Every single one of them either inherited it from their dad or they got it in a divorce settlement. What's up with independent women? Not.
Oh, well, this just
What is that, like
reminds me of-
3.6 million a year or something like that?
Fucking Christ. How does he make that much still? I mean, I'm sure he does all right, but I mean,
That is a
let me
whole
rephrase
lot of
that. How does what she did in the relationship necessitate that much fucking money? Jesse,
Well,
as somebody who
I
is
know.
a-
It's because
is a,
she's grown accustomed to a
I know.
certain lifestyle. And
There's
now
also
that,
a percentage
and now
of
that
the
I don't
income.
love him, even though it's his money that provided my lifestyle, I'm still accustomed to a certain way of living. And I will not go back from that, especially because you're an evil man.
Like, she's never going to get remarried because the instant she is married, she loses the alimony support. So,
Yeah, not to mention that she's a red fucking flag a mile away. Jesus Christ.
yeah, I don't know what she was thinking, Dre. Let's read this real quick. Dr. Dre's ex-wife and his ex-wife appear to be have made headway in their lengthy divorce settlement. According to the report from The Blast on Wednesday, the super producer has been ordered to pay Nicole Young $293 and $200,093. How do you say that?
293,000.
Thank you. $306 per month. There, I did it. The payment with Scripps' help, of course.
I could have people killed on the weekly for that price.
Well, I was just gonna say, since you are a
I could have-
provocateur, is that what I'm looking for? Of whores?
Well, you know, I could for 40 grand, you could have somebody whacked at a pretty reasonable rate for a hitman. So you could actually have somebody killed once a week and not even notice.
Well, not just that. Let's look at it this way, and this is a lesson to all you men out there, especially if you're somebody who has money. Hookers are cheaper.
Also, message to Dr. Dre: a good hitman's only about 40 grand once.
There is
2 nights in jail.
absolutely
A
zero.
great one. You can, listen, for that money, you can get an expert hitman, and it'll be covered up immaculately on that one payment
You get a
alone.
whole
Somebody's at my
team
door.
in here.
There's a bunch of guys at my door that just rolled up.
Oh shit!
Well, this is
I
the other
talk shit
too.
about shit. Look.
1, don't ever get married in the state of California. 2, if you have money, get a prenuptial agreement.
Sorry,
And you know what?
prenuptial-
They made that
prenuptial-
easier now. They call it
Prenuptial-
a mutual prenup.
Yes.
Okay, what were you
Sounds
saying,
better.
Mike?
prenuptial agreements are jokes. They're impossible to enforce. And it's better just to not get married and just don't involve the state in anything because you're going to lose no matter what. I will never, ever, ever, ever get married alone. But I will, however, since women are so, quote, independent, the modern women don't need a man, no problem. But I will be investing in dog food because they will get old and die alone after they buy a dog or a cat. So I will be investing
The
in
10
food.
guys I know that have prenups, they all worked for them. I don't
Well,
know.
not in California, buddy. Good luck.
Well, the thing is, if you get married in California and do the prenup in California, you're screwed. But if you get married in another state or
That
another
is
country,
absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
which is why I said don't get married in California. That's a no-fault state. That screws over everything.
Well,
you
in
get married in another
actuality-
state or country with that license, and then you get the prenup done in that state or country along with that license. And it doesn't even matter if you get divorced in California. You can have the divorce proceedings go into another state because you weren't married and you didn't get the prenup anointed in California.
You
That's what
listening,
you're supposed
Dre?
to do.
Yeah, I'm just planning on getting a girl who don't speak no English.
No speaking English. Listen, now that's even more like the Eddie Murphy bit. That's all this reminds me of.
Yeah.
What the fuck did she do? That's worth
But-
$300,000.
But Fufu, just the other day you had a bone in the nose and you're bare naked.
I want half, Eddie. You do not treat me right. I'm
You
ready
do not
now.
treat me like American woman, Eddie.
I want
Oh,
that. And then you
I
pay
want half.
Then you see Eddie Murphy on the cover.
That's
of
what
Dance with
gonna happen to
Fire, like that.
Jesse. That's what's gonna happen to Jesse. Jesse, I want half. Half, Jesse. I want half of this.
I'm an American woman now. I want what's coming to me.
Yeah, the bottom of a lake.
Oh.
Whoa, hey now.
Well, here's one thing I got to say. Watch out for this guy, ladies, if you run into this doozy. Guy who buys his clothes at Costco. That's another good reason to stay the fuck away from him. But he says, I wish Dr. Dre's wife would have got more. Well, look at you, you male feminist pig. I wouldn't trust him with the door shut. Anyway, yeah.
Why does he wish that she got more money? That doesn't.
I know she was asking for 1.9 million a month. So honestly, I guess Dre got away with a little light, but according to this, he makes like $35 million a year.
Yep.
All right.
So 10% of that is going to her, and that's about right for alimony.
Is part of this that he never has to fucking talk to her again?
I doubt it.
No, as lawyers have to do it. However, conversely, Anne Heche, if you remember that crazy actress, she has to pay alimony to her ex-husband still to this day, I believe.
Wow.
Well, usually that's really surprising because usually, you know, when it's a man, they're like, they get all these people coming in the room and they take half your shit. But if it's a woman with all the money, all those same people walk in the room and you say, so where's my alimony? I get support, right? And then they all laugh and then they all just walk out of the room and then they go home.
Here's the thing: is
weirder in California because if it's whoever has the most money ends up, or the income that generates the most throughout the year ends up having to pay spousal support to the
even if it's a woman.
Yep.
Speaking of spousal
there's
support,
your equal treatment, ladies. You fucked that all up.
Lupita claims that she was a Canadian intern there, Mike, and you're a pocket full of limp lies.
One more time, Lupita. One more time. I wield a firm wrench. Don't test the hardness of the wrench.
Isn't that the problem in the first place?
So evidently Lupita got over half his shit. What is it with these ladies? They all look the same, and they're all like the same woman over and over again.
I'm sorry, but for that kind of money, she's not an attractive.
They're always like some 6 foot tall brunette chick or whatever.
She could only be described as
way
handsome.
Too much fucking work. Described as handsome.
I'm every Karen.
Look, she
I tell everybody that I love Jesse?
She got that bitch got a stronger jawline than he does.
I'm not gonna lie, you're right.
She's taller than him too. Who's the woman in this relationship?
Oh, Caitlin Dre. Is that what you're saying? What are you suggesting?
I'm talking maybe a little Big Mike action. Maybe I don't know.
So yeah, unless she gets remarried, he's got to pay that out every fucking month. Oh my god! I mean, seriously though, yeah. So what if he makes $35 million? First of all, script. Do you think that's gross or what his like what he makes over what he's worth in a year? Which really isn't. He doesn't see that in liquidity, right?
No, that's usually through all of his business ventures.
That's what I figured. Yeah,
there should be a roof on that shit. Okay, look, it only costs X amount of money for anybody to stuff burritos in their face all day and not work.
No, pussy's worth $500,000.
It ain't to the tune of $300,000
a month.
Well, the point is he waited too long to divorce her. In California, once you approach 19 and a half years, then it's for life. It's not like, for 3 or 4 years. It's for life.
Man,
was he married to her?
I've been divorced in California. Okay, so I mean personally, I know what's up.
Honestly, women want this equality shit. Like
they don't want equality. Bullshit.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger. Yeah, I ain't gonna sing the rest of it.
Well, you know how many songs Drake could probably make off of this divorce hearing,
yeah,
and have that pay for itself.
Bitch, I want my $300,000.
Bitch stole my money. All this goddamn money.
I could get 50 bitches for that a month.
$300,000 for the rottenest taco he's ever had.
I don't know this.
Oh, the rottenest taco. Ew. I hope I didn't miss any super chats. I will go back and check. Nikki D says Netflix stock value has dropped after reporting a loss of approximately 500,000 subscribers this quarter. Well, at least they ain't losing 300,000 a month. What does this mean for the streaming wars?
Well, the obvious answer is that it's a time to buy Netflix.
Yeah. Before we move on to that, because actually it's funny you bring that up because Script has a few things to possibly bring into that conversation. But as Valiant points out, ain't no pussy on earth with $500,000
worth half my shit.
Well, he's paying $3.6 million a year. So
see here, honey, I got a little job on the weekend at the boutique, so I thought I'd help out. Here's a little add to that $300 million. It's like now it's like 300 million and 10. So there you go.
He could buy a hooker every day the rest of his life,
yes,
and it would not cost
several
2 months of this.
Several.
He could have Magic Johnson level AIDS going on after all of this, and he would still have more money.
Christ, dude.
What? That's how he got it. I seen him on Oprah. He was like at first it was a woman every day, then it was 2, then it was 4, then all of a sudden I had
like
8. But when I called him back, none of them had it. Well, that doesn't make any sense, okay, bro?
Okay.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Now these are the 2 that I think we missed. Thank you so much, Script. Says, how come you didn't tell me Jesse was Sheldon?
What? Sheldon?
He's wearing Sheldon's shirt.
Sheldon! What do you mean? You don't know who Sheldon is?
Well, Big Bang Theory pisses me right the fuck off.
Pisses everybody
what?
off.
You want to know why?
terrible
You want to
show.
know why? No, you want to know why it's so stupid and annoying?
Not
How
really.
come every friggin' nerd? Yeah, well, how come every nerd on TV's got all this money and a good job? Oh, what's this nerd? Oh, he has a social disorder, but he's also an astrophysicist. All right, what's his buddy do? Oh, he's an engineer, same place. What's his buddy do? Oh, he's another astrophysicist. Well, that's just fucking lovely. Real nerds are barely scraping together $1.50 to get them a fucking ramen noodle, and they're happy to get a comic book on Wednesday. Okay,
Hold on.
They don't have all this shit.
Hold on. Wait.
I'm definitely
a nerd, and I do corporate taxes for a living.
Yeah, but you're not normal. In the
Okay.
best possible way, of course, Mikey. But,
Just ask Lupita.
but you know,
Donkey show.
I'm talking about the biggest cross sections of society here. I mean, not everybody is just like, you know, I'm the smart type of nerd. Some of us are the useless type of nerds. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like me.
I think there was a side character that was one of those in that show, actually, who ran the comic book store.
Yeah,
that guy,
but he
yeah.
was still a business owner, even though he was a weird loser.
He was pathetic as shit, though.
Even that other guy they make fun of, physicist.
Yeah. We got another super chat here that I missed earlier from War Wolf. Thank you so much. Says, what? No shout out for me? I see how it is. Well, there's your shout out, War Wolf. Appreciate it.
Woohoo!
We've got 370 plus people watching. Hit that like button. I wish I could say hello to all of you at once. Hey, I'm doing that right now. Hello. That's how math works. Isn't it great? Speaking of math, Dash D's did the math for us, Jesse, and it don't add up. So 2 BJs a week for 24 years, 2,456. That's a lot of BJs.
Yeah, it is.
At 3,516,000 paid makes it $1,432 per BJ. Call her Hoover. Hey, actually, Jesse, it's cheaper to get a fucking legal hooker in Nevada than it is that right there. So
yeah, but you know, probably they probably look just like her. Actually,
I want to introduce a sci-fi angle. Hold on. So say we all. Okay, there we go. So say we all.
So, thank you, Dash D's, for doing the math. Dre, buddy, hookers are cheaper.
Yep.
If we put our minds to it, we could get to the goddamn moon. But no, this is what we do. It's true. There's a lot of talent.
Well, and Dash D's,
the chat. There's a lot of freaking
Dash
really
D's
smart
just
people in
proved
there.
he's the most racist motherfucker I know. Because look at that math. That's some like fucking
Calculus.
quantum theory level or calculus level math.
I
Shit.
don't know. I went to public school.
I know, right? Math is fucking racist.
It's fucking hard.
It is?
That's why we got you.
Oh, okay. I'm here.
Glinzer, who sends us a super chat, who's also a member, says, "This is why some men want to sex change. $30K a day, right?
Fuck that.
We could do it better too, I bet."
Well, I mean, you have to first fool
Oh my
another
God.
man to pay you that.
Wait. This just went off the rails.
Just
Why would you get a sex change over that? And Tom just like jumped on board and was like, I could do a better job. What the fuck is that shit?
better than any woman can. I'll walk out of there with $500,000 a month.
All right, I'm sending you one first.
All right.
Hold this basket. Of
Lord
condoms.
help us. Valiant Reddit.
They'll let you go,
Go ahead,
eventually.
Yeah, so Mike, just ask this for tax purposes. Is there a way Dr. Dre could write this off?
Oh yeah.
Yes, alimony and spousal maintenance is deductible from his gross income on gross before it gets to taxable income.
And if
So
he
Basically,
writes,
what he could end up having the government pay for this for him if he
and not only that, I
No,
think Nate's right.
it's okay. So let's say he has okay. Let's just say he has $3 million coming in or well, no, 35 million coming in. She's getting 300,000 a month times 12. Okay, let's do the math. 3.6. Okay, whatever.
3.6 million.
Right. So the 3.6 million is deducted from his gross income on page 1 of his 1040, and it's before his adjusted gross income. So spousal maintenance. That's the other great thing that the modern era of the equal rights movement has done is that it's made spousal maintenance tax deductible, but child support is not. You got to pay for child support with after tax dollars out of your paycheck, and that blows.
Well, yeah, but if his kids are over the age of 18, he doesn't have to pay support for them, right?
No, I'm just making a general social commentary since I had a split second, sir.
Gotcha. Okay, so then here's the other part too. If he found a way to curtail that spousal support into a financial gain for him as a business expense, he could do further. He could double just write it off, couldn't he?
Yes, he can write it off with pot as inspirational tools.
Oh, can you write off pot?
Not exactly.
According to Gallagher, you can.
Well, wait. Let's back this train up into the station. Mikey, every time I go there, it's like $400. So if you could figure out a way to write off pot, that would be
inspirational.
No. I know. I've been asked many times to do retail stores, distributors, and growers. No. Mexican Iron Man. No.
Inspirational tools.
No offense to everybody who's a pot smoker, but I haven't exactly found that, pot smoking clients are my greatest clients. I did it for a year or two, and it's like, hey, I sent you invoice. Oh, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
That's my life.
Why do you think the camera's off?
I don't know.
Mike, you don't even realize that you're surrounded by us.
I am?
Fuck. Yeah,
oh, hi. Hi.
And Strip's Canadian. He's probably high, and we don't even know.
There's even the joint behind my profile pictures here.
Like, I think Canadians are just born.
Yeah, but you guys are cool. I like you guys.
They're always chill. They're just like, hey, sorry, eh?
Hey, our British Columbia Olympics, the entire the main set piece was a bunch of joints crisscrossed together.
Trust me,
that ain't no motherfucking maple leaf.
No offense, but I'll take weed smoking clients if I had to.
It was meant to be a pot leaf, but a bunch of stoners put it together, and they're like, "Is that it, man?"
At least you know they work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to afford more pot.
Dude, when I had those Hollywood production clients, they were always high on blow. Always.
Blow is different, dude.
See, now that gets old.
Yeah, they're still think it's the 80s if they're still high on blow.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you probably wouldn't be able to handle Tom on blow. Like, think about Frank Marshall times 10.
Oh no.
I couldn't imagine if we got a pile of yayo and hit the town.
Oh fuck!
I've never even done cocaine before. I wonder how.
Likewise,
that would go.
don't have no interest.
I will not know what happened. Next thing you know, I'll probably be waking up in a prison cell with Jesse. Sometime.
I've never done it because I know it's severely addictive, and if it's not cut properly, you can die.
No, you'll be tied to Six's sink, and you'll be you'll be tied.
It's gonna be my turn. Ow, ow, ow.
Right. In one hand, you'll have a marriage certificate. In the other hand, you'll have a loosely written crayon. In crayon, you'll have like a prenup agreement that you try to scrawl out in crayon, and that's it.
Don't let her take half my shit. It's and I misspelled half. Valiant Renegade says loading video now on Netflix and AT&T financial reports that dropped in the last 24 hours. Probably out tomorrow morning. Will give Andre Wood. Ooh, Andre, give him Wood. Now this brings us back to the other super chat we got before script. You brought some stories to my attention. Is like, yeah, it looks like if I'm reading this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the streaming war is at a turning point, and it almost looks like HBO Max is like taking the lead. Not completely, but they're definitely the ones that seem like they're on an upward swing. Now
yes,
tell us what you
HBO Max. Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
They're using the steady growth model, which is similar to what Peacock is doing. So they're not trying to rush and push this. I mean, they're trying to push it very hard because they do want those subscribers, to at least solidify their investment. The stockholders and the rest of the company. But their growth is so steady that it actually looks like they're probably going to overtake some of the other streaming guy. If it continues this way, it'll probably overtake the other streaming services in a couple of years, which is really good because right now you have Disney Plus. People are dropping off of that, and people are also dropping off of Netflix, which is kind of like not in a huge enough numbers for Netflix to really be too worried, but enough that it's like, they're clearly going. Those customers are clearly going somewhere else, and it's probably going to be more so to HBO Max and and Disney Plus and Amazon, if they're not going to be doing all of those. But yeah, it's actually cool. Because I speculated this because when we were talking at the beginning of the year, I was mentioning like, yeah, they got some interesting numbers, but the growth is steady and it's slow, and that's usually how you want to play with these types of things, especially with this new model. It's if you get it all too quickly and you don't have the content to deliver, you're going to have a huge drop off. And HBO Max is not oversaturating their content.
Right. You actually talked about that not just at the beginning of the year, but as recently as I think last month on the show. So, yeah.
Oh, I've mentioned it as many times as the topic comes up because it's one of the things that also is allowing AT&T to kind of do this merger with Discovery, right? Because AT&T is still going to be the parent company, and it's Warner and Discovery that are merging together underneath them, and they're going to then consolidate that, fire the people that they don't need, or put them over to different departments they'll be more effective and kind of slim things down. And HBO Max is going to benefit that. Plus, with the Discovery Plus subscriptions and whatever else they're going to do. Hey, Robert, HBO Max is looking like it's going to pull ahead.
I just love when you send me things, Tom, and I see the link and I just jump in not knowing what's going to happen. It's like
finally get to talk with you again.
It's like chat roulette. But
I think this is the longest we haven't spoke.
That was like 10 minutes ago.
Does chat roulette date me? I don't know.
Yeah, right. Not really.
Dates me. I remember chat roulette pretty vividly.
To start talking about ICQ, then we might have issues. Then people will be like, huh? MySpace, what? So welcome, Robert. How you been, man? It's been way too long. Like I said,
I've been it's been crazy trying to get this movie ready to go and then
exciting.
It is. I mean, hopefully COVID doesn't kill the theatrical release.
I know, right?
Too much. But it looks like you guys are getting a lot of traction with some festivals and stuff. What's going on with Tango Shalom?
Well, we got picked up for distribution, and we're going to be distributed limited theatrical release. The plan is now September 3rd, and then we go into VOD everywhere on October 29th. So that for us, for a low budget indie movie that had virtually nothing behind it, that's the best outcome we could possibly have had.
Well, and hey, it may not be everything that we cover here, but I look at it this way. These are the kind of movies I like to support because these are the kind of movies when I say, if you want to tell this kind of story, do it this way. Don't do it in Star Trek. Don't do it in Star Wars. Do it this way. And that's what you did. And you helped facilitate this. And I'm sure if it wasn't for you, this film wouldn't have even gotten the notice it has. So I really feel like you should at least stroke your ego a little bit there. But yeah.
I mean, my whole career has been working on sort of low budget indie films like this. I've never really had great commercial success and broken through. But I just love the process. I love working on movies, and I produced this film. I was the editor of the film. I was the post supervisor and the VFX supervisor. So I got to do a lot of fun things on this, and now I'm handling, the release of it, and it's fun. Like the other day, we got rated by the MPAA or the MPA now. Yeah, we got rated PG-13, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. But anyway,
what the hell's up with that?
So when you get that, you have to, put the MPAA, like this film has been rated PG-13, but I have to put it on everything. And it's been so much fun. And then you have to resubmit like your trailers to the MPAA or MPA so they have to approve them. And then I actually had to go into the film. We have an MPA number. Yeah. So the number has to be in the end credits. It's just been fun, like going back and adding all this stuff. And so that's been fun.
Well, I love because you've told the story a few times of how you even got involved, which I love because, like I said, I really feel like if it wasn't for you, this movie wouldn't have gotten the notice it did or gotten as far as it has. And,
definitely. I mean, it's
pretty wild. So I hope it does well, and I hope it gets some notice. And I know I'm going to check it out.
And your festival strategy was brilliant too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Look, this was a movie that nobody knew anything about. It was made for very little money. It truly is the defined scrappy indie, and it is the most uncool movie imaginable. And what's interesting is I found this out. Like when you go on the independent film festival circuit, your movie has to be cool. Like the rest of film Twitter and the rest of the film community. What I mean by cool, it has to have some kind of edgy subject matter that or content that makes people in the independent film world go, ooh, look at that. That's so cool. Our movie was the least cool movie ever. And when we put it out on the festival circuit, it was like, you know what? Because we're coming out of a pandemic, and our movie is like the kind of message my grandmother would love to see, that maybe the counter programming would work. And our debut was in Jaipur, India, and they loved it there. Because there's no bad language in our movie, and it's been sort of interesting to watch it happen.
Get stuck with a PG-13 then,
man. Well, there's one guy who takes a drag on a cigarette, which might be a joint.
Oh, Jesus!
So mild drug use, and then suggestive situations. There's one scene where our main character, who's a rabbi, runs out of a doctor's appointment with the hospital dressing on, and you can see his bare ass as he runs down the street. So we got a PG-13. I'm like,
that's
wow,
ridiculous.
Mola Ram pulls out someone's heart for a PG-13.
Right.
Well, that was so sexually suggestive,
Yeah, I just
The dancing.
Yeah.
Now, did he actually stop and sing a little Gray Mare, Ain't What She Used to Be?
Nope. None of that.
Then I don't see that,
Well, the MPA is just anyway. Werewolf says, I'm a nerd and my job is writing, and even if I have any real success, I'll never be a millionaire. He's bringing this up because I don't know if you heard, Robert, but Dr. Dre has to pay his ex-spouse $300,000 a month in spousal support. That's what we kicked the show off with. And now we're talking about the streaming wars.
And we also did the hooker math and how it doesn't even equate.
It's much cheaper.
Robert,
how do you justify that? Like,
Robert, you also missed the part where Mexican Iron Man was accused of needing to pay alimony and being accused of a donkey show incident in Mexico. So, yeah,
I was there.
Robert, the thing is, they don't have to justify it. They just have to say, I've grown accustomed to this way of life.
Right.
And I don't understand that at all.
I mean, can you imagine that? To come up with almost $1 million every 3 months to pay your ex?
It's insanity. And to think, now let's say you're someone with a lot of money. You could still say, well, here's 30 grand a month. Here's $1,000 a day. If anyone out there can't figure out how to stay alive on 30 grand a month or $1,000 a day, they're probably going to die anyway.
Yeah. Even that,
Robert.
Most families don't bring in $30,000 a year.
You wouldn't have to pay. What are you worried about at that point?
Imagine,
zero bills.
Imagine the budget that you could do with hot toys with that kind of money.
Oh my God!
Holy shit!
You couldn't even, one payment. You could buy every hot toy that ever existed.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
X-Men #1.
Yeah, you'd have $100,000. You'd have $200,000 left probably,
and money left over. Yeah,
and that was just for the first month.
Like next month, money for the first month of Batman.
You'd use that to build the house or the warehouse to store all the hot toys in a nice display case. 200 grand, nice property for.
Oh my God! I mean, the house that I want to buy, if I could buy our dream house right now, it's $1 million to remodel it. With 1.5 million, I'd have the house I'd live in for the rest of my life, and I would get that in a couple of months on that money.
No shit, right? Yeah. Well, and as we were talking about the streaming wars, Valiant says with $2.99, thank you so much. That reminds the whole thing took me back to the Eddie Murphy bit where he's talking about Johnny Carson and half his shit, and it's like if you got $5 and you give somebody $2.50, you'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Valiant Renegade says,
hey,
yes.
I just want to say that Lupita was there too. I remember her.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Robert?
she was. Yes,
wait,
you're right.
What? Oh, no.
So Lupita, Robert is backing up your story, so you might want to talk to him. And
she took me. How do you think I got to see the show?
And this is why we let Robert on me, because he knows the game. Yes, Script is right there. ARPU is crushing Disney. As we were pointing out, is just before you came in here, Robert. HBO Max is not necessarily winning the streaming wars, but they're the only ones that are still like this chugging along. They're gaining subscribers while Netflix and Disney are losing ground. Do you have anything to say about this? Are you up to speed on any of it? Or
no, I was just, that they announced their numbers. The HBO Max numbers are actually going to maybe exceed where they thought they would be.
Yeah.
As far as, I have to say, I really like HBO Max.
I do too. I do
too. It's hard to find stuff, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I just click through. I'm like, I'll watch that. Because there's so much on HBO Max. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. Now, I find myself my own streaming habits, unless I'm watching a certain show, I really like going into streaming services and watching. Like I watched the other night on Disney Plus, I watched the first 25 minutes of Endgame. And because I love the first 25 minutes of Endgame, just hanging out with those characters, and I love the Hawkeye opening. I love it. And I turned it off when Paul Rudd showed up at Avengers HQ. Not because I don't like that scene, but then they go see. I stopped it at Tony Stark when they first got to his house, and I'm like, but then the plots. Then you have to stay and watch the rest of the movie. But I love the first 25 minutes because I just like meeting the characters. They spend so much time in that setting all that up, and you don't see that much. And I liked it.
Yeah, that's why I like the second movie of any trilogy, because you spend more time exploring the universe and just like sitting in it.
But yeah, unfortunately, Infinity should have been a trilogy, maybe. But go ahead, Robert.
Well, when you go to Netflix, I find myself, I never find anything that I want to watch because there's so much different kinds of stuff. You know, I find myself it's fascinating clicking through, like going to looking up horror movies, just going down and seeing what horror movies they have. You know, it might be 200 of them, most of which I won't watch, but I find it more entertaining to just click through and see what movies there are than actually watching any of them.
The last new thing I watched was probably Dolomite.
Oh, yeah.
Or Cobra Kai, whichever one came.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking with this, because it's like they pivot the whole service on a couple of shows, really. And Cobra Kai is the number one, and they're taking quite a while to come out with the next one. I mean, they should really just be trying to pump that shit out as fast as possible, trying to come up with some backup plans, because that will eventually end.
Quality matters.
Yeah, you can't rush it.
yeah, but like seriously, how long does it take to make a 10-episode season or something?
Well,
like
not just that.
Depends on how long it takes to write it.
Well, actually, this fourth season
is the writing.
Considering the COVID situation, this next season is coming quite quickly compared to the last few, but because there was like a 2-year window in between season 2 and 3, I think it was, damn near.
Yeah, it was going to be on YouTube Red, but then YouTube sold it to Netflix, so they had to redo that. Yeah,
then they padded it out by putting season 1 and 2 on Netflix. But no, like that's the thing, is outside of the few random things, like tonight I'll watch He-Man when it drops, but I don't really check into Netflix that often. But HBO Max I do. In fact, I just watched. I think I said this on your tweet one day, or somebody's tweet, about Citizen Kane. I just watched RKO 281 off there. They have it in HD.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
I'm hoping that
master.
Yeah, and I love that movie. Great film. In fact, I think it's better than Mank. I didn't like Mank as much. I thought Mank was kind of. I go with that version of the story better. But yeah, I hope that's part of the new 4K box that they're talking about for Citizen Kane. That'd be awesome. I don't know if you heard anything about that yet, Robert. But
yeah, well, I mean, they keep talking about, but they haven't released that officially yet.
No, not yet. But I see there's a few new announcements we got. But Troy Pacelli says, unless Doomcock's theory about Gina is right, then Disney Plus wins the streaming wars. Just kidding. And RMB arrives to class. It's a class that joined up. Yeah, he always does. And yeah, we're going to get into a little bit about Gina here in a little bit. But we're going to talk a little bit about the streaming wars, and then we're going to get into He-Man, of course, and then I even got some Black Widow
that was tonight until you said that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what time exactly it drops. Probably midnight Pacific time, so like 3-4 o'clock our time. Yeah.
Then we'll all be disappointed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the first 2-3 episodes are going to be good, and then it's going to go to crap. That's just me.
We'll see.
But
yeah,
we'll see. So what else were you noticed though? A few things like script. You sent a few stories that I didn't really get a chance to catch up on completely. But what else did you notice in there that bears any kind of mentioning as far as the streaming war going forward?
Well, I mean, it really just enforces the fact that AT&T as a service provider does have an advantage over their competition. Because they've got steady growth. They're building a better infrastructure right now. They're expanding their 5G, which means that streaming their stuff is going to be a lot faster for their customers. And having like some intimate relationships with other service providers, especially ones that are owned by the same company that owns AT&T, they have a really reliable plan for the future for distributing things out to their clientele. I mean, I think their whole Warner and Disney, Discovery merger is a brilliant tactic from AT&T because again, and then there's also rumors that they're going to be licensing out the DC publishing stuff to other people come next year. So we'll see who gets lucky enough to take on that part, because that will also be a smart investment. People are being a little hyperbolic, saying that they're selling DC publishing. They're not. They know how much how valuable those properties are. It's much more lucrative for them to just say we're licensing the publishing out to them for X amount of years, and they'll just rake in the money because it's a far more assured venture than to get rid of a property and then possibly screw up their film rights with those characters. Who knows, like a decade from now, or have you, if they sell the actual publisher. Yeah. Because if that publisher creates new DC characters, it's not going to be owned by AT&T, and then if they want to make a movie, they got to renegotiate. So they're never going to do that. They're just going to license it out, and any new characters made under that new publisher will be retroactively owned by AT&T, Warner Media, Warner Discovery, all those companies.
And I want to welcome Daryl Brewer as a member to the channel. Thank you for being a part of this. I should do a stream later this week where I answer guys' questions. And Lupita comes back in again, says it's true. Rob was there. He was a gentleman. Well, Robert is always a gentleman, so I can believe that. And Dash D says Robert was at the donkey show. Was the donkey? Sorry, tequila is wonderful.
Oh, I can assure you, I wasn't the donkey.
No,
I wish he was the calm one holding the camera.
Yeah, God did not grace me with donkey powers.
God almighty.
Oh, that's funny. DCB Titan says also keep in mind that payment assumes Dre keeps making that much. If his income drops, those payments don't.
You're right. You're right. And that's scary as shit, ain't it?
Well, the upside of being a legend like him is chances are his income's not going to go down.
I'd be like, yo, get people on the phone. I need a t-shirt line. I need a jacket line. I need a car line.
He's already got all this shit.
I need to turn into Kiss fast.
He kind of is like Kiss in a lot of ways. Olaf Van S is also a new member. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the church.
Now,
Gene Simmons does help a lot of people with their finances. He probably is going to help Dr. Dre.
Let's hold off on the He-Man stuff because I know you're not really as into He-Man as some of us are. Well, I got you here, Robert. But there was something that came up about Black Widow that was kind of interesting that I had kind of. Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Woo.
Talk about booming. That Black Widow had another possible end credit scene that we didn't see.
Yeah, I read about that. I heard about that. I didn't know what that was.
Well, it turns out my theory about how they could possibly bring Black Widow back might have been discussed, and it could still be in play. Now, I'm sure a lot of this has to do with whether or not Scarlett Johansson would like to come back, but I don't think Andre would get mad if I did this.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
But yeah, basically, there was supposed to be the end scene was supposed to play out the way it was without getting into too many spoilers. But when Florence Pugh's character is standing there, she does the little whistle, and she hears the whistle back. And somebody didn't die. And basically implying that when Captain America took the Soul Stone back, we also get back Scarlett Johansson's character, which is what I had posited all this time, was that there's one way to bring her back, and it may even have to do something with the multiverse. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what they were implying was one of the original ideas for a end credit scene. Now, it didn't get filmed, but it was something that was discussed, and even Florence Pugh brought it up, and so did the director. So, yeah, that was basically what it was going to be instead of the other character that showed up.
That would have been very satisfying if they had done that.
Would have, yeah.
I think so.
So,
yeah.
Do you think they would ever go the route of you know how Thanos was trying to court death, like Lady Death? Do you think that she would ever show up in a movie?
You know, I've thought a lot about that actually, because I've always liked that. I mean, I like that about Thanos, and I think the problem with that is then you have to explain her existence, and like I think that the biggest problem with the MCU right now is they're pushing the boundaries of believability in terms of their, like, I always wondered when it first started, how do you make Iron Man 1, the Iron Man of Iron Man 1, exist with Thor and Captain America? Because Iron Man 1 is a fairly grounded movie. And the big ask in it is that the Iron Man armor works, or the Ironmonger armor works, but it's really one man coming to grips with himself. And aside from the flying iron suits, there's not much that's pretty believable. it's pretty grounded. And the ultimate, the battle at the end is just two guys using this tech for the soul of the company and to do what's right. But beyond that, it's not some giant sprawling MCU thing. And when they add the Rainbow Bridge and Heimdall and everybody else that's in Asgard, that to me was always like, how are they going to do that and make us? And you believe. And then of course they added Captain America, and are you going to believe that he's frozen in an iceberg for 70 years and comes back? And you do. So they keep expanding the boundaries of believability. To me, the TVA, even though it's right out of the comics, it strains credulity. You know, the idea of Kang and all that, it's so out there. It's so extreme that it's difficult, because it's not just one ask that it's asking you that the TVA exists, but the idea that it's like 70s decor and there's all these variants, and they're adding a whole a level of fantasy to the MCU that's pretty extreme. And that He Who Remains and all of that and all of these different variants, they've blown they've blown up the Marvel universe into, and they've expanded it in a very I think interesting but extreme way that's going to have so many ramifications. And I'm just wondering, with all the variants and the multiverse and all that, are they going to be able to hang on to the core audience of the MCU that didn't grow up reading the comics?
That's my whole problem with Loki right there, is that the variants are supposed to be timeline variants. But all these characters that they're introducing are obviously multiverse characters.
Well, I think that's right. I the way I understood it is the multiverse exists. It just doesn't intertwine. You know, I mean, well, it intertwines like a rope or something, but the multiverse is separated from itself.
Well, each universe in a multiverse has its own split timelines. So if there was a character like that, he would have to be in control of all of them, or just one universe. And that's why he said all the other guys, he's the nicest one, because they have a whole bunch of more tyrannical versions of him in other universes.
Yeah.
But those aren't timeline variants. They're not freaking variants. They're just other versions of yourself from different
Right.
worlds.
I think that's exactly correct. And that's something that was a little nebulous in their presentation, because, you know, the single timeline is made up of a multiverse, and the timeline goes from beginning to the end of time. It's just the multiverse is now, they don't overlap. It exists, but they're not crossing over. And in whatever universe you're in, you can create a variant within the timeline of your universe. That doesn't mean you're crossing over to another universe. It means you've created a branch in your universal timeline, which then they get rid of.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically, it's like all time has happened, and what Kang, or He Who Remains, is doing is like a film editor, just removing the takes that he doesn't like and keeping the ones that he does.
Right.
And again, when it is a huge ask for the audience to buy into, because it's thrown at them so dramatically, as opposed to a buildup, which is how the MCU started. It was just, okay, I'm going to ask you to believe robot suits can fly. Then I'm going to ask you to believe a rainbow bridge to our world. And then I'm going to ask you to believe a super soldier from the past. And those things just have they build, they compound, and it allows you to explore more. And then the next big ask was, okay, formation of Avengers and aliens, and then the shrinking Ant-Man, and yeah, it's getting like, you know, they have to inch their way towards it. And then, but with Loki, it was not so much an inch, but a giant leap. And
a massive leap, where it brings up 1,000 different things that you have to now keep track of.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is all like part of it right from the beginning, because Earth 616 is where Marvel takes place, you know? So it's like, that's fine. And I just wish they had introduced a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. And Ether 101 Prime asks, what about Gamora? Actually, it's funny. I heard that's part of what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be all about, is Star-Lord doesn't like the version of Gamora they got. So he's on a quest to figure out how to get the other Gamora back, and I'm sure that's going to play into it. Is he's going to have to get his hands on a time stone, probably. Or not a time stone, but a soul stone, I mean. Sorry. That would be my guess. That's at least what I heard it was originally supposed to be about, anyway.
Yeah, but I forget. Was she a parallel universe Gamora, or is she just from
she would basically
in the
be like
before they met?
She's from the same timeline, but
She's like
She's
delineated out because she has a different experience within the same timeline.
Right.
Yeah, she hasn't met Star-Lord. She didn't meet the
Exactly.
He
Guardians.
never
you're,
had all the
so you're
same
telling me
experiences,
you're
yeah.
telling me the girl that you fall in love with, you get a second chance without, and you already know all the things you did that pissed her off.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
if
going to
you
be
could
the
just-
first
you could
half
just
hour of the
skip
movie.
those.
yeah, but if she's not
Put
the
it in the
same.
montage.
It will be like the first half of the movie or first half hour of the movie is going to be him trying to redo everything he did before, and he's going to fail miserably.
Basically, it's Marvel, hetero Groundhog Day.
Probably.
See, if they had Professor X, they could just implant this shit in their head and just keep going.
Dash D says, death as a character can be done well. Supernatural's death was really great, so it can be done. And somebody was bringing up something else. Isn't there like some kind of rights thing with Lady Death as well? Like something to do with the guy who created him? Now I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
From Marvel?
Yeah, I could have swore there was some.
See, my main thing with seeing her on screen is that most people in the audience are going to assume that she's a bad guy when she's just like a elemental.
Well, I
force.
honestly thought the whole Infinity Saga thing with, basically Thanos trying to snap out half of existence over a piece of pussy was kind of lame to begin with. I mean,
That's what he did.
But no, that's what he did. But the thing is, you had two levels that would have been presented by it. The first is like, oh, I'm saving the universe, but on the same time, I'm also appeasing a woman who has given me no time of day
right.
at all. So it's like a double-edged stone. He can justify is like, well, even if I don't get her, I still save the universe, and then you can have that type of thing. And I was hoping amongst hope that they were going to go that direction for an Endgame, because that would just make him actually far more villainous than just altruistic and like genocidal.
I don't know.
But they didn't. They decided to go a very.
I
very
kind of
different-
like the other direction, to be honest with you. But
Me too.
oh well. I mean, really, in the end, it is what it is. Hillis Mallory says, "I think the TVA will end up like it is in the comics in the end." How do they end up in the comics? Somebody fill me in here.
I don't know. I never bought those.
Yeah, I don't know where.
I think they were like time cops. If you deliberately went to the past to better your future, that's when they would stop you. I vague memory. I've only read a handful of issues where the TVA are actually involved, because there's not a whole lot that were available to me growing up. So I think that's what they were, just a time cops.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Actually, Lady Death preferred Deathpool from my recollection, and that's why Thanos fucking hated him.
Yeah, but is that the same character of Death? Because his
Well, it's not
girlfriend
Thor's
becomes.
sister. No.
Well, yeah, it's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's two different ones.
No,
Two different
there's
sets.
Death, which is a woman within Marvel, and then there's I think Lady Death is Thor's
Yeah, I
sister.
think they are two different. Yeah, there's two different.
They're different characters.
So we've technically already had Lady Death, right?
Not
Yeah,
to be
and Ragnarok.
confused with Lady Death Strike. Who just has
Too many
big nails.
characters.
I thought Lupita was Lady Death.
Only to you. Only to you. I got a date with her later.
Oh. Hold
Just
on.
clean her up
Let me
first.
download a LegalZine prenup.
And speaking of, Lupita is now a member.
Oh,
now
no.
So now your alimony is going to help pay me.
Oh, no.
Well, that's good.
I thought it already did. I thought. Hold on.
My question is, after experiencing what she can actually do to the male anatomy, why would you want to part with her?
Because she learned that somehow.
Yeah, it's like that old Andrew Dice Clay routine. How do you think she got that way? Certainly not from Mike.
Ah!
Adam Wolford says there is a Lady Death from the Chaos comic and Lady Death Strike, which is Marvel's. Okay. And the being Death is a woman that wants Deadpool because he can't die. Okay. Yeah. I knew it had something to do with whatever, but like, I can't keep track of half this shit. I'm not up to speed on most of the ins and outs. I used to kind of keep up with some of it, but
Well, the thing
at
about
least
those
it ended.
Death herself, Death, the personification of Death in the Marvel universe is, that real. Again, I think that's even pushing the boundaries of how you. What was so great about Thanos is he's a warrior, and the way they portrayed him in the MCU, you believe that character is an alien conqueror. If he was in love with the personification of Death, it would suddenly get weird.
yeah,
Like you'd be like how do you? so death is, it's not like the Sandman, which has the character of death in it, and it works. But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're asking, it's, I think what's really interesting about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they have to thread this needle where, and that's why I think the TVA and Loki was really interesting, because it pushed beyond where I thought, like, if I was in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't necessarily know if I would bring the TVA into this. Like, it would be easier to understand Kang as like Nathan Richards, a man from the future who stole time traveling technology that allowed him to go through the quantum realm, and he's been setting himself up in various places. Like, he declares himself a pharaoh and becomes Rama Tut because he's interested in making Apocalypse his ward, and
taking his powers. Yeah,
it's still one man. And now you've got this huge fantasy component of weird time cops and all that, which becomes really fantasy oriented. Right. Where before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was science fiction, but now it's gone way into the fantasy realm. And I guess that was their plan, because they're going to embrace the multiverse and all this, and whether they're going to go and show us Secret Wars, or whether they're going to go and show us like Avengers. I think their next Avengers movie is going to be Avengers Forever, which was a huge Kang storyline, and they're going to bring back that's how they're going to bring back like Steve Rogers, but it's going to be a different iteration from Steve Rogers than we know. And so they can bring back all these characters, and they can be in the MCU and have this big adventure when they take on Kang, but it's going to be, I think that's what they're building up to, at least with all these shenanigans.
Go ahead.
Well, like, I think the first manifestation we've seen of this is in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Right.
Because that takes place 8 months after people return from being snapped. And that's the first time you see, that's way after WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier. So we see J. Jonah Jameson, and that's going to be, we'll realize that's the first manifestation in the modern MCU of the multiverse encroaching on our reality.
Could be. And then there's also the Secret Wars business too, which is another thing that kind of supports the whole end of the alternate ending we just discussed. As Werewolf brings up here, though, Lady Death was killed in Secret Wars 2, a guy named Death at the end of that comic. And then this is where I was probably confused. Darius brings up DC's Neil Gaiman's death, who was anointing 90s chick. Maybe I got the two confused.
There's lots of deaths.
Yeah, there's a lot of death. Darth Plato says SL managed to get Gamora to like him once. He can do it again. I don't know. They didn't have the same experiences, though.
He didn't save her from the depths of space with his helmet.
There's a lot of different things. Yeah. Is he going to screw everything up again like he did in the Infinity War fight? I heard that even may play into the story. Like, there's so I feel like that a lot of people jumped on that maybe unnecessarily. Like I feel like from what I heard from somebody about what Guardians 3 was at least meant to be initially, that a lot of that stuff was all going to play into it. And it was all about kind of Star-Lord trying to redeem himself, get Gamora back, because he realizes he can't make this version fall in love with her, or fall in love with him, because they didn't have all the same experiences and all that kind of shit. And I even heard a rumor that she may even be the villain in the film. So you never know. Like, she's pissed that they killed her dad.
Well, she kind of has that look, that look like when the child support check doesn't clear. She's got that look in the movie.
Like, I mean, yeah, it was a whole, like, kind of the way it played out in the initial version, but yeah, it's hard to say. But anyhow, we'll see how that goes when the movie finally comes out. I'm curious to see because a lot of things got flip-flopped. As you'll remember, even this movie, Black Widow, was supposed to be the first part of the Phase 4, not all these series. These were supposed to come after that. I don't know if that really affected things much, but
I hate to say this, but I don't even care about Guardians anymore.
I do, because that's like
if I feel like they came in, they served their purpose, and that's nice.
Well, Guardians was the fun one, and to Robert's point, I think if in Guardians, when they had kind of introduced Thanos a little bit more, they probably could have gotten away with a Lady Death there, because it was a far more sillier approach to the cosmic stuff. To do it like dramatically in something of Infinity War would be, again, a huge ask at that point. But if they inched it away to when you realize that Thanos has this mission, and his mission is to appease this woman, and also probably to get justice for the tragedy that happened on his own planet. You can
I
make
mean,
some,
I think that's a little. The whole character of Death would be. It just is the weird idea. I mean, the fact that he was he had a plot. What he wanted to do was easily understood. We get rid of half the people. We save the planets because the resources are preserved. And everyone's like, well, why don't you just make more resources? But that doesn't solve the problem of overcrowding and pollution. And you get rid of half the planet, like we have whales in the Hudson River, like Steve Rogers says in Endgame.
There'd be whales. But yeah, so the other thing I want to talk about before we get to He-Man, while we still got Robert here, there was a cryptic message put out on Gina Carano's Twitter today. There's some people doing a lot of heavy speculation on it. So let's do the same. Fuck
Okay.
it. She put out just this random tweet of Catwoman saying, or this is actually yesterday. She put this out. Sorry, yesterday. It's a bit late for begging. And yeah, a lot of people are kind of speculating as to what this may signify.
She obviously said no to some offer to try to kiss her ass now.
You could be correct there, Jesse. And a lot of people are speculating it may even have something to do with Star Wars. Now, I want to get everybody's take on what they think it is. And again, we're just speculating here. None of us have any sort of insight that I know of anyway. Let's start with you, Robert. What do you think she means by this, other than maybe she wants to play Catwoman? I don't know.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I like the idea of what was said about the idea that I think she's saying, don't, I didn't ask to be dragged into the public sphere talking about all this BS because you guys got rid of me because of tweets or whatever, because I was stating my opinion. It was anti-American of what happened to her, and
absolutely,
and it really was. And this idea that if you disagree with people or somebody says something you don't like, that you're going to go after them and kill their livelihood, and you have to go through all of that. I'd be a little spicy about it. And I think that she was maybe looking for some meme or something that fans would understand. I don't think it necessarily means that she's going to be Catwoman or anything. I think she's just like, I like the fact that, look, you have this leather-clad badass who's saying that.
Now, personally, I'm not so sure if it has anything to do with Star Wars. Script, you had a bit of a different take on this. I think you could be more in line, but you never know. But let's hear your take on it real quick.
Well, first, let's understand the context, especially in Hollywood. I know a lot of people like to say she was fired from Mandalorian, but that's technically not the case. Her contract was up. They didn't renew it. That saying she's fired is technically conjecture. But the thing that she was technically dropped from was UTA. So she's unrepped by, as far as I know, she's not really repped by anyone right now. And the only type of people that I know in the industry that do begging are agents. That's just what it is, especially if you're a hot property. Like I've known actors and stuff who got really hot, and they had CAA, UTA, ICM, all those guys just banging on their door, begging to represent them. And that's
have
the
you had a lot of
have.
agents beg you? Script.
And what I mean, the other part too is like, in what world would Disney ever need to beg anyone for anything? Right. And then at the same time, even if, say, it was some people at Disney that decide to not renew a contract, I'm pretty sure none of those people are going to be Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni or Bob Chapek. And even if, like, they're not the ones that terminated that, and if anything, they're not the ones that need to do any begging. They just have to make the offer and go from there, because like they have a big IP. They have a lot of avenues to explore other characters. If they can't get Gina back, they can go another way. There's nothing stopping them from doing that.
Yeah.
But no, I think it has more to do with, I think UTA is regretting dropping Gina Carano because she's had a huge spike and rise in popularity, and that is money they've now lost with regard, especially to her current production right now, which, as far as I'm under the impression of, is still going ahead, and it's still proceeding quite well through development. And if she's doing it kind of on her own with Daily Wire and the crew that they have assembled, yeah, I would not be surprised if her old agents are shooting themselves in the foot for, knee-jerk response and following the propaganda that was put against her.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Script, on this one. I have to agree on this one. I think you're right. I think the only person or people that really fired her were her agents. And because you're right, the Disney could hide behind the guys that we never fired you. We just didn't ask you back. We didn't have a chance to talk to you about your contract, and it went out in the press as just some anonymous source, basically from Lucasfilm. And all we really got after that was that it went above Favreau, and it didn't go above Kathleen Kennedy. So we know kind of right in the region where it lies, where this choice was made, but nobody has taken credit for it. It's not like the Alan Horn situation when he came out and, publicly fired James Gunn. That was a public firing. Right. This was just kind of like, and the funny thing was the moment it happened, I know it was timed that way when we were all on Star Wars Theories, doing the
mega stream,
the stream for the charity,
St. Jude's Hospital,
and it all was timed perfectly for that. So like, and I questioned it when it came out because I'm like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't even sound official. This sounds like coming from, and it was from somebody's email at Lucasfilm or whatever. That's the most we got out of it. So we don't know who the hell put it out there first. And then, as far as we know, there was never any official anything. Unless Gina has gotten something that she hasn't spoke to us about, but according to her last interview about this, she never got any emails or messages or anything from anybody. Now I'm sure she's talked to people like Favreau and stuff behind the scenes potentially, but she's not going to talk about that on public. But no, I think Script's right. They have every way, shape, or form of getting her back on board at Disney and saving face on both ends because she was never technically publicly fired. So I think Script's right on this. What do you think, Jesse? Do you think that's probably more the case? Or let's ask Mike since Jesse's
all right, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I absolutely do. And listen, despite that, there's a rumor circulating Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, before Drunk Through, it is not Mexican Iron Man that's begging Gina to come back to me. Okay, it's
it might be Drunk 3PO. You mean?
Yeah, well, I don't want to speak out of turn, but it's not me, ladies and gentlemen. Although you would think it was me. No,
that's funny. Maybe Jay fucked up.
No, I don't think so. No, not my boy Jay, not Drunk 3PO. No, I think this is absolutely. A buddy of mine made a joke because I told him I was coming on MEAD tonight. He's like, maybe that's to her ex-boyfriend and stuff. That's why I made the joke. But no, I actually think this is an agent thing. There's no way that if she was in serious talks with Lucasfilm, again, I have no basis for saying what I'm saying, but there's just two things. There's no way that if she were actually in serious talks, that this would be something that a woman of her class, I believe, would let out. And number two is that there's no way that any kind of announcement like this is, if she was coming back, is coming out anytime soon because it's just not the right time in a variety of ways for Disney. They've got a lot of other things on the on the totem pole to knock off right now.
And Stephanie Chanachek says, I am a Star Wars fan, and if she tells Jon Favreau after all the good things he's done for her, no, after they clean house, they can replace her. I don't think they will replace her because, as we know, Jon Favreau wrote the character for her.
Yeah. I think the character will just go away. We just won't see the character anymore.
Like, the blowback that they would get. There is supposedly some rumor that the character is on something or part of something, or was on some. She was on call sheet of some key.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know what the truth is to that. I have not heard anything or seen anything to that effect, so I cannot confirm or deny any of that. And again, that may have nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's hard to say.
Her popularity is I think a shock to everybody. I mean, look, I'll throw my own chips. It was this chat. It was Midnight's Edge, where you and Andre were on the morning show, and I think Script was on that show, but it was a long time ago, and this topic came up. It was way back when. And look, when she came out at the beginning, I was not a fan of hers at all. I absolutely just didn't. And there was 2 or 3 people in the chat stream just said, give this character a chance, let things play out. And truth be told, I did become a fan. I mean, not a massively huge, oh my God, this is like Captain Kirk to be kind of fan, but she the Mandalorian, I became a fan of hers, where initially I was just could care less. And I think that happened in a lot of segments, a lot of places around the world, and popularity came on strong. Then you throw the politics and the Disney stuff on top of it, and it just grows exponentially. But Robert, such things do happen in Hollywood, don't they? You never know.
They do. You never know. Hey, gentlemen, I have to pop out.
No problem, man. I was glad to get you for the time we did.
Yeah, we got to do that again. We should do another midnight session or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Robert, next time we go to Tijuana, I'll drive. Okay, so I'll pick you up, and then we'll get the 5, take the 805, the 405, and then
Oh, I'm all for that, because then I won't wind up with your ex.
And I want to hear your take on the Michael Waldron time travel script. If you've managed to finish reading that.
Oh, I have not, but we have to talk about that. I do like the way it's written.
Oh, the voice it's familiar. I would say that way, but
yeah. But it's like you look at this, you second guess what you're doing yourself, and I'm like, do I have to go back and rewrite my script and make it feel like this?
No, I would as you get further into it, you kind of understand what he's doing and how much of other things he's relying on that you hopefully know. And it's like, no, you don't want to copy that voice for yourself.
No.
It works for that one thing, but it does not work for everyone.
Yeah, because I'm trying to finish what I already sent you, and I'm pretty happy with where it's going. So
that's awesome.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that.
We must do some more things again soon. Robert, take care of yourself, and I hope we talk again.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure. And
Thank you.
I gotta call Mike's wife. She's blowing up my phone.
She's busy.
Oh, wait.
She's got shits to do,
Yeah, because she does. I mean, I catch her in between side gigs anyway.
She likes her white boys. She loves her white boys.
You got to take it when you can, right?
Well, I like my Mexican salsa, so it's all good.
And she's spicy, I hear.
So is side gig your new nickname?
I'm gonna find out later too. I got a date, so
yeah, I know, right? She gets around.
She gets around.
She's like one woman United Nations. It's fantastic.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen.
Hi, Robert.
I feel like I was playing into a joke I didn't fully understand, but as long as it
no,
works.
no.
She's not a groupie. She's a Midnight's Edge supporter. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. And if you can't be a supporter, what can I say?
Yeah, and if she like me, she likes metal. Get it? Mexican Iron Man metal.
Yes, it's all good. I'm gonna go ask her a few things so I can clarify them for myself.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked out too. By the way.
Yeah, I do. I yes. Yes, but
I
like to.
You know what we're talking about.
She likes to raw dog. It's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, I'm going.
Take care, brother. We love you. All right.
We got to hear Robert Meyer Burnett say raw dog.
Yes, we did. And that's the only place you're probably going to hear Midnight's Edge After Dark. Raj H comes in with a thumbs up super sticker. Thank you so much. And we got another super sticker from the one, the only Kit Kat, who says with a what is it here? A work with a computer. Are you at work, Kit Kat? I think I saw you earlier saying you were listening in. I think you said you were at work or something to that effect.
You should hide. Go to the bathroom for like an hour.
Yeah, right. So let's talk about some MOTU. Why not? Kevin Smith lied. And spoilers, Orko died. Yeah, we heard about this last
cried.
week. Everybody cried. But no, this goes deeper than this. He lied about a lot of stuff.
That's not good.
And as Andre and I pointed out several times over, he did not have to do it this way. And the other people involved with the show are helping. The reviews are starting to hit the net. When you got people like Grace Randolph saying there's no strong male characters in the Gila show, there's something wrong.
Hello.
My problem is that you got all these great people for a voice cast, and this
right,
just nothing.
Well, that's what Kevin Smith
Man of Arms and King Randor aren't even like.
I mean, probably not. I guarantee you, Man at Arms dies.
No.
I guarantee.
No.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, because Tila has to take over as fucking the Man at Arms.
Well, she's always been the captain of the guard.
She is the captain of the guard. But if you notice from the trailers, the only times we see Man at Arms is when she's in her regular regalia.
So why is she charging? Who's the captain of the guard now?
That's what I'm saying. I think
she's always been captain. Man at Arms is like the general, and she
exactly. Yeah. So if she has to rise up and take his role,
that's what I think happens.
Has to rise up and take her role.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Probably Ram Man.
Okay, Ram Man. Team Ram Man.
Good.
No,
wait,
are you just saying you think she's wait, is this a rumor I missed today or something? Or?
No, the rumor is that he becomes an Obi-Wan Kenobi hermit for Man at Arms.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the rumor, yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised because like Kevin Smith does love a lot of Star Wars. She-Ra did borrow more from Return of the Jedi than He-Man borrowed anything from Star Wars, though. But yeah, I can see them. I can see them repeating some story beats from that franchise.
Oh, if he lives, that's one thing. But no, like, yeah, I know that that's what we're hearing is that it's her story. It is her story. As we been reporting since the start is Clownfish TV, rightfully pointed out and got bombasted by Kevin Smith. And don't get me wrong, I love Kevin Smith to a point, but it's gotten to a point here where this thing has gone off the rails. He's been out there on this campaign making fun of other YouTubers instead of just keeping his fucking mouth shut. He's becoming the enemy, and I don't even think he realizes it.
On Tuesday, you sound like you're still willing to forgive him a little, kind of, sort of.
I was until I started seeing some of these reviews, dude, and it's like Andre had to change the end of his last editorial. Because the end of the original editorial was really hopeful. But then when the reviews started coming out as in the process of editing, he's like, we got to redo the ending. So it became, we already kind of know what we're in store for here.
So this one is probably going to be a story that's predicated, I guess, on the Tila's Quest episode, because like that's where she finds out who her mom is and then gets the mind wipe, so to speak.
Right.
And then
that's what this show is going to be, is her taking over the role of Man-at-Arms, not really doing what she's supposed to do, and then she'll figure out by the end that she's supposed to be the sorceress. I guarantee you that's what the show is going to be.
I'm every character.
Yep. And He-Man is just going to be a side character.
Every Karen.
She.
I mean, look. Two things bother the hell out of me. The first thing that bothers the hell out of me is that Clownfish TV, they're great people, man. Like,
I've only talked to them like twice. I've never had a problem.
Like literally, they're like butterflies, and I mean, they're so nice and great people.
And what I was saying earlier had nothing to do with them. That had everything to do with when the show was first announced. I remember pointing it out to everybody. I remember finding that fucking specific clip of him on Comic Book Men and shit like that. So, but here's that voice cast you were talking about.
I mean, look at this. Look at this fucking list, man. You got Kevin Conroy. He's just playing Merman. You got Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, Lena Headey
from Game of Thrones too.
Yeah, we can forget about this fucking dude.
You got Diedrich Bader. You got Phil Lamar.
You got Skeletor playing Moss Man. There's something wrong with that.
There really is.
When you have Skeletor, you have him play Skeletor.
Who is playing Skeletor?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. We talked about this on
Skeletor. Mark Hamill would be better as Merman, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Kevin Conroy would be better as He-Man.
Yeah.
Everybody rotate one chair to the right.
Yeah. How do you get Kevin Conroy and not have him play fucking He-Man? Right?
I know, right?
Like, Jesus. That
you get Chris Wood probably because he worked with Kevin Smith for 2 years on Supergirl, and like
I have no idea.
Now you met Phil Lamar, Jesse. He's playing Hero.
Oh, he's an awesome person. He's very.
I've heard different stories, but yeah,
I've heard I think he's awesome.
He was cool to me.
Until you tell him like equality of outcome is a bad idea, and then he gets all indignant on you.
Yeah. And then of course we've got all kinds of other ones here. Henry Rollins as Cyclops, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, which Stephen Root.
Yeah, she should have shut up and kept being cute.
So did they take Cringer's stapler?
Yes.
That was my stapler, Adam. It's definitely my stapler.
That's
and I used to have a
future
bed by the window, and they were squirrels, and they were married. Susan Eisenberg as Sorceress. Let's see who else we got here.
You got that
Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena.
For some reason.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. For some reason. Because like she had not been doing anything for
I don't know why Justin Long
she's on television, but like not many people know what show she's on because it's not a very popular show.
Lord knows why Justin Long is Roboto, but hey, I like Justin Long, so
all I know about him is that he's the dweeb from that one Die Hard movie.
For some reason, Jason Mewes' Stinkor makes sense. Griffin Newman is Orko, who sadly we'll get into in a moment. Tony Todd is Scareglow. Now that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kevin Michael Richardson is Beastman. Nothing wrong with that. Tiffany Smith is Andra. Harley Quinn Smith is Alina.
Nepotism away.
Exactly. Well, she's actually not that bad of an actress. I will give her that.
She's not that bad, but that's one of the things with Kevin Smith is that he wants to make it more about his friends than about the quality of the work.
Well, and that's what I was saying to. That's what I was saying to Jesse is that that's how this cast got to be. That's what Kevin brought to the table. A lot of these people are his friends, and I think I know who Cree Summer is probably playing. It says
I don't know who
priestess.
that is. Who's
But
that?
who's playing what's her name? The female version of Orko. I keep forgetting her name. God damn it.
Is it Delia?
Gladriel or something like I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, anyway, because I'm almost 100% positive that's her in here. Let me see if I can get the pictures up. Okay, here's a
With
picture of
arms,
Orko.
yeah.
here's a picture of Orko here, and this is how I know there's two different characters now. And I got proof of it before we even see the show. Because here in this picture, you can see in the bottom, here's Orko. Yeah. He's got the shorter. See, and it actually looks like him. He's got the O there, right, and all that kind of shit. And then we see the Butch babes. That sure as fuck ain't Orko. That is definitely what's her face.
Whoa!
I don't see the new picture yet, so.
I know I'm getting there. Hang on.
I'm just wondering why
I'm on the internet looking right now. I'm doing my own independent research.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about already. Then
I'm doing my own independent research here. Whoa!
So basically, if Orko's gonna die, there will be no Christmas special. Just throwing that out there, people.
Yeah, there is no Christmas special,
dude.
This is no longer canon,
dude.
I shall hold the puppy.
I will hold the puppy, and you will like it. And here's what's her face?
There it is. Yeah. So Tom, you're gonna have to go back to the Sword of She-Ra episodes, where Skeletor meets She-Ra for the first time, and grab all of his one-liner quotes that he could use to criticize this new show, because he's got like "you boob," he's got all these like insults that he could throw around from Skeletor that he could probably quote. And
Skeletor had the best fucking insults of any
yes, he did.
Of the villains. Like, he always had the best ones. In other news, Seth MacFarlane is leaving 20th Century Fox for NBC Universal for $200 million. Now, this is now a fact. Didn't he already have a deal with them? That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, so once his contract with Disney's thing expires, which is this year, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a headline out there or somebody you can find that real quick. Mike, I don't know if you got a chance, maybe. Why is Tony Todd playing Mark Hamill's ghost? Is he? That's the thing. Is it a separate character? Is it the? See, I was always confused by Scareglow. I always thought that was Skeletor as a kid, and then is it two different characters?
I don't know. That toy's rare. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's all I remember, because I don't even remember. Was there a Scareglow episode from the OG series? I'm trying to remember.
There was one, I think.
One, I think, yeah. But I haven't watched the whole entirety of the series in so long. I should do that.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're not a weirdo.
Well, I don't have the time. Fred Sacco says Rosie O'Donnell is playing female Orko, aka Orca.
Rosie O'Donnell hasn't been big for like size wise for a very long time. She's actually kind of scrawny now.
Yeah, she's had the no dick diet. Eric Winberg says, "Look at this amazing panel doing important work." Well, thank you, Eric Winberg. You're just as important, because if it wasn't for you guys, over 600 of you watching. Scareglow is Skeletor. It's his ghost. That's what I thought, Warwolf, but I wasn't 100% sure on that. Scareglow is supposed to be a major character, says Richard. We'll check into that tonight, I guess, or technically tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
like 5, 6, 7 hours. I think it's going to be 3 on the coast, or 3 here, 12 on the coast.
This better be good.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say the deal with McFarlane was back in last year.
Yeah. I think because it ends when he's done with Disney's the Disney Fox thing about the end of this year. So 2022 is when he's kind of open for new stuff.
How does that work for his proproperties that exist already?
They'll just continue if they want to continue them, I'm sure.
Well, the Orville is technically owned by Fuzzy Door Productions, which is owned by Seth MacFarlane. So wherever he goes,
that's what I was thinking too. And see, technically Hulu is partially owned by Universal.
Yes. So they can stay on there until Disney does the buyout, or Universal does the buyout. I don't know which one's buying out the other half. But
Richard says it's 3 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, that'd be 2 Central, 11 Pacific.
Midnight Pacific.
Is it midnight Pacific? I don't know.
Yeah, they're 3 hours behind.
Fuck time zones. Time zones are fucking stupid. It should be just world o'clock.
Yeah, Tekkaman Blade's exactly correct. Scareglow is a repainted Skeletor mold, but it's a different character.
Yeah.
That's just
what
like,
I was always confused.
That's just like what was Fake Or?
And I know Scareglow for some reason right now is
the blue He-Man.
The toughest one of the Origins characters to get a hold of for some fucking reason.
Because
Well, I
They
found
sold
out
out in minutes. They sold out in like 6 minutes on Entertainment Earth today.
I found one of my old He-Man toys. It's from 1983, and it's got a rotating chest emblem on He-Man. So
nice.
like, the first one has got like more the M looking thing, and then you spin it around, and it's got like the other symbol thing on his chest. And it was weird, but I mean, it's in terrible condition because it's like.
Well, the other thing,
But it's exactly
it's
as
a
old
toy
as
that was
I am.
purchased by my parents before I was born, and then they gave it to me after I was born.
yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think Scareglow was in the Filmation cartoon. So yeah, neither was Stinkor evidently. I thought Stinkor at least made one.
No, Stinkor's from a
appearance.
later series.
Yeah, I know he was in the 2000 series, but anyhow,
This whole thing is that he stinks.
see, Faker is actually one of the whatchamacallit, isn't he? Like the same race as Skeletor or something like that, or
I thought they made him.
they changed. Well, they changed his origin. That's the other thing is the origins of a lot of these characters have changed.
Wait. In one version, he was a robot, but in
Yeah.
another version, he was just magic. He was made by Skeletor. So the question was, well, Skeletor made him. Why didn't he just make like 20 of him a week?
Yeah, there was a bunch of Anyway, yeah, I don't think the Seth MacFarlane thing is anything other than what you just said, script. But the other part I want to get into this MOTU thing is Kevin's claims and that they were saying in the writers' room that over 75% of the fans didn't like Orko. Now, we talked a little bit about this on the morning show, but I really want to dig into this now because to me,
I think that's the reverse.
I would say it's the reverse too. I think we agreed on that. Yeah, it's like, come on now, of all the snarfs, of all the scrappy dudes,
The imp characters, the imp
characters, the little goofy side characters that are
The
obviously
Gazoo, they're Gazoos. We established this
yeah.
last time.
I think I originated it back to the Great Kazoo. If there's anyone that can know of one sooner than that, that to me is the first recollection of the side magical character that's always goofing shit up for people.
I
And that's
think
what
Mr.
Orko was.
Mxyzptlk appeared before Kazoo
That's a
in the
good-
comics. Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
Bat
but was
might
he?
definitely appeared before the Flintstones. Yeah.
That was the other thing too. Was Batmite was the other one I brought up. I wasn't sure on either. But regardless, sorry, because irregardless is not a word. Orko, on the other hand, to me represents the best of them.
Exactly. To me, dude,
he was annoying.
everybody
but he was so good.
He was annoying, but everybody wanted to be He-Man, and everybody wanted, and then you had your Prince rocking around and all this. But dude, I was a misfit when I was a little kid, and I love this character.
Well, not
it's
well,
like
thank you. You were going to get me to my point, Mike. He was
a misfit. I was a misfit. I tried all kinds of things when I was a little kid. I wasn't good at anything. Lord knows, I wish I started with taxes sooner. But I mean, I was a little kid. I wasn't good at anything, and I just loved this character. I just thought, I mean, is he the most popular? No, but he reminded me of me. Look,
Mike, that brings me right to my point. I was going to say Orko was our POV character as kids. He was basically the equivalent of what it would be like to be a kid hanging around He-Man, right? I mean, he is our POV character into that. He is the audience character. He is the one that we see this world through, right?
Yeah, I think you're right because with him there, no one's really going to die.
Yeah, there's that aspect of it too, but he is that childlike nature of him that he kind of like Big Bird just captures that POV for the audience, of especially the kids, in a sense that I think that's why a lot of kids related to him. Now I want to get a poll in the chat. I want to see, give me a 1 if you liked Orko, 2 if you didn't. I'm willing to bet that we're all right here, that it's flip-flop from what Kevin is saying. And we got enough people here to do a nice little pool. I'm really upset by this because Orko to me is pinnacle to the series, and to kill him off in whatever fucking way form it is, I don't give a shit. Because the excuse they're using is that nobody liked him, and now this is going to make them like him. How is that the case? I don't understand it. Script, please elaborate that to me.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was never a fan of Orko. I never hated him, but I never really gave him a second thought. He wasn't a character that particularly interested me. So I'd probably be in that 25% pool that Kevin would specify.
I'd say it's less than that going by the chat right now, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but I would say, like, if you wanted to make Orko good and likable, you'd pretty much establish him as where he's no longer the klutz, the magical klutz anymore. He's able to finally have the confidence of himself, and
that's kind of in the 2000 series. He wasn't as much of a klutz. He was just a learning.
Yeah. No, the 2000 version I actually liked a bit more. Just because he was used in less moderation. He wasn't like Orko in the original series. His bits were far more of a distraction than actually something probably
they really were.
story. It was just like a gag to
He is a
to,
gag.
like,
That's the
to
point. Yeah.
upset Man at Arms or King Randor. Or any
He's
of
the
those guys.
Slimer, and that's my other favorite. One, second favorite one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a plot device.
He's there for some comedic relief. He's there to push the plot along sometimes, like us in the audience. He knows that He-Man is He-Man and Prince Adam or whatever. He knows what's going on, but at the same time, he can very rarely really do anything to affect the plot. He does sometimes. There's even episodes that are revolved around his character completely.
Yeah.
But again, you fall in the one category script, but from what I'm seeing from the chat, it is overwhelmingly ones. Like
Hey,
there's
I
a,
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
there's a
Tom,
few twos, but very few.
in about 2.5 years, do you think we're going to have this exact conversation about Slimer when they end up redoing the real Ghostbusters cartoon
Shut
after
the
that
fuck up.
movie?
Oh.
Oh, Ivan Reitman kind of has
We'll
a
be like,
take
here's
on that. I
Slimer
don't
in
know
a
if he's going to
dress.
redo it.
I was gonna say, I don't think
Oh.
Aykroyd and Reitman would let that happen in their lifetime. I don't
Yeah,
think. They would do a
fought
new
against
one, but
Yeah, they fought against Ghostbusters Evolution. I remember when that was being announced. They didn't really dig that idea, but they couldn't
mean-
exclude it because it wasn't part of the real Ghostbusters
Different than Extreme?
IP. Yeah, it was a brand new IP that was being generated, so they didn't really have much to do with it.
But it still had Egon in it. They had the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters come back during an episode.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. But it's like,
well,
I like
again,
that show because it
it's the
didn't
weirdest-
violate any of the rules.
yeah.
I have
Well, it
just a
was-
question in general. Like, even let's 75-25, 80-20, whatever the hell. Why do something? And I saw the video of him talking today. I saw it in the middle of the quarterings video, and oh god, I'm just like, why do this? I mean, it's just why. It just makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense. I'm so sick of this Hollywood shit.
It's,
I don't-
Well,
it's
you
a
know
no
what?
holds barred approach. If you can kill off one character, what Joss Whedon likes to do, you kill off one character, then you supplant the idea that any character can be killed off. When really you've just pretty much confirmed that no more characters are going to be killed off.
Exactly. Exactly. That is exactly it. It's like we're idiots. It's like they think that, well, maybe none of us have read a book, but they think none of us have ever watched another movie or read another book or seen another like decent plot line. Like we're all just a bunch of morons. Especially, look, if you want to do this with your own new property, you want to come up with something and play your little games, do that there. But we are well versed. We're black belts in our own fandom, whatever the hell the fandoms are, and just stop. Stop with your little crayon bullshit.
Well, and what's worse here is that they're actually playing on our nostalgia, and they're just trying to set up the whole thing. Well, oh, you're just a bunch of racist istophobes, and you need this. And this is exactly why we need to do this.
Do you think they're really going to twist the knife and have like Skeletor blast him with lightning while he's begging to be let go, and just like kill him slowly?
He's going to sacrifice himself to save everybody else.
Oh, you think it's going to be noble? It's not going to just
well,
be like
of course it will be.
torture
That's the
scene
whole
with
point.
Skeletor?
No. It's going to be a noble thing, and that's what Kevin thinks he's doing. He thinks he's doing right by the character when he doesn't realize how popular the character actually is.
You know,
Dear-
there's a silver lining here, though, because if we allow them to do this, then eventually maybe we'll have a Scooby-Doo with a satanic ritual in which they sacrifice Scrappy Doo to raise some kind
I
of.
love how you
ghost.
jump to that conclusion. But Dearest says with $5, if Orko was not popular, Final Fantasy would not rip off his look for their wizard character design. Now, he is he's heavily ripped off. Like, I've seen a lot of things where I go, oh, that looks like Orko, like big time. Blue Satoshi, if I'm saying that, yeah, Blue Satoshi says, I just started watching the Filmation series and I already like Orko. Yeah, and I mean, I get where a script is coming from. He's the scrappy dude. He's the little, goofy character. But as a kid, I loved him. He was my POV character, just like Mike was saying. Platonic Guardian says people didn't like Orko that Orko wasn't in the movie. Yes, this is what I brought up yesterday morning on the main channel. Was like that is the number one gripe with the night. And there's a ton of shit to gripe about in that 1987
That movie was
film.
just weird. They had Gimli come back, then they had to jam out a song so they could open a portal to go fight Disco Skeletor. None of it was like watching the show.
There's no Prince Adam. There's no King Randor.
My father took us to that movie, and he didn't even know what the fuck was going on. And he was an adult.
Burn, Skeletor, burn! Disco, baby, burn, Skeletor, burn!
Oh,
Woo!
shit. You need to
Get your-
review movies like that.
Get your
Jesus.
skull on. Burn, Skeletor,
Platonic
burn!
Guardian says people didn't like, sorry, I just read that one. But yeah, you're right, 100%, dude. or ma'am, whichever you are. Fred Sacco says Slimer will be a New Zealand power lifter who's stunning and brave.
Hey, that dude is kicking some ass, okay?
Yeah. Well, he's John Belushi.
Yeah.
He's Bluto.
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some ass.
I'm a zit. Get it? This side, says, fun fact, Slimer's face was based off of, as I was just saying, late John Belushi's face. John Belushi was also uncredited for helping in the creation of Ghostbusters. That is actually bit of a, here's the thing. You're not wrong, because Dan Aykroyd
There's just three
Well, he
scripts
wrote
back.
the one character for Belushi, yeah.
But the guy who designed him gave him like a bunch of different designs, and he gave him that direction. And to the I can't remember who did it. It was a guy from Boss Films. Yeah. I can't remember the name of him, but I'm sure Richard Edlin, I think it was, or whoever.
Right.
Come in and said, like, I just did a face. It didn't look anything like John, but that was the one Dan picked and said it reminded him of John. So it was like that was just how it worked out. So it's kind of a the story that Dan Aykroyd tells is a lot more one of the ones that, it should be real. It should be the truth, but it was really just a randomness. And then like
well, yeah, he was given a whole bunch of things, and Dan Aykroyd's like, I like this one because it reminds me of John.
Yeah, because his name was Onion Head before that. So that's where the
Onion
design actually came from, is he was supposed to look like an onion with a big butt.
So it's supposed to look like Mexican Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah, basically it was based off. That's the truth. Actually, it was based off of Mexican Iron Man, because Dan Aykroyd was in love with Lupita.
Ah,
I thought it was the ghost of Garfield.
Oh, don't let's get down on that path now.
Plausible.
So you're not wrong.
He had a very close relationship with Peter. Just
it's kind of funny, like the whole Yoda story too.
So I have a question for you about Kevin Smith, though, Mr. Tom.
Go ahead.
So, are you convinced that there's still two of them, or is it more that one is transitioned to the other, or is it that his true colors are now coming out?
I don't think Smith had as much to do with, like I said this morning. I really yesterday morning. I still stand by that. A lot of this was Kevin just brought on as a name, and he was kind of part of a. It was kind of just what he does when he goes in and does the CW shows. Help me out here, script, because you kind of know what I'm saying. Like,
well, he's just there. He's not really doing any work. He's just there to be there. He fills a void, so to speak.
Well, then why does he say what he says that generates the problems that it's generating? Why?
Well, those are his words. Those are words being handed to him.
Well, and I think he knows he's in a
script a lot.
Yep, read the script. Dance, monkey, dance.
Pretty much. I mean, he hasn't done any of his evening withs since after the heart attack, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First is that he's so grateful to still be alive. Second is that I'm pretty sure because of such a thing, people started realizing, hey, he's kind of a weak guy now. We can probably have some fun with him, and then also get some geek cred. And so that's what they're kind of doing.
That's the only reason I think he was brought in, right there, geek cred.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say that geek cred, and probably being able to secure a cheaper deal rate for all those voice cast members that he's friends with.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he facilitated that. I'm sure he came up with some story ideas. Don't get me wrong.
So many, it's just a Hollywood tool or tool for Hollywood.
For the most part, yes. I mean, and that's just it. It would be one thing if he had come into this with the purest intentions, that would be one thing, but I just don't feel like that's the case. And I'm not trying to stick up for him at all. Like, I feel he's just as guilty as anybody else in this situation. And the fact that he's out there lying to everybody is just going to be his undoing now. I mean,
what do you think about they're going to do it anyway versus get paid?
Oh, like, that's a good one, Jesse.
Are you positing like he...
That's a good one.
They're going to screw it up anyway. I might as well get paid.
Kevin, you're probably right, because I don't even think he was looking at it that way. It's just like, he had nothing to lose going into this and everything to gain in his eyes, but I don't think he realized the size of the MOTU fan base and how hardcore they are. I mean, and I'm just starting to learn how deep in some of this stuff goes.
I just want to know how much bullshit's going to be in here, really, because it looks great. Like the voice cast is there.
Well, Mike, to answer kind of your question, I think you're getting to is like, look, we're just starting to uncover dude, when I discovered, and this is what happened with this whole thing. We we knew there was something up with She-Ra, right? That's kind of what set this whole thing off.
You were way on the front end of this thing.
And we're like, wait, something's not adding up here. And Andre found out that, She-Ra's under a separate license. But not only did I find out then by doing some more digging that She-Ra's under a different license, they're completely separate now. The only thing that combines them is the Horde. And it's like this, it's just like the deal with when Fox and Disney were separate and they could share certain characters, but not all of them. And in this case, the Horde was the only characters, Hordak and the Horde were the only characters that could cross over between the two. But otherwise, basically, here at this point, She-Ra and He-Man are in two completely different IPs, basically. They kind of rest under similar umbrellas, but they're not the same IP anymore. So you'll never see She-Ra and He-Man, and you'll never see He-Man and She-Ra.
That is just dumb and stupid.
Well, unless they license out
unless there's some kind of license thing that has worked out, which is funny because it's a lot like how the Red Sonja deal. And that's kind of another reason we were getting down that road. Well, then I come to find out, because I said something to Andre, I'm like, look, I'm doing some digging here. I don't even think, I keep running into Universal. I'm like, I think Universal owns the rights to He-Man and fucking Mattel don't anymore. And he's like, no, there's no fucking way. Like, he didn't believe me at first. And then we started doing more and more and more digging. And we got a video that's going to basically unravel all this shit. And it's even more complicated, or I wouldn't say complicated, but it's dumber than the whole fucking... It is dumber than what Paramount did.
It's as wait, hold on. It's as dumb as the whole Spider-Man Venom thing, or it's
worse
like
than
it's
Star Trek,
or it's like
it's
Star
worse
Trek
than
Paramount.
Star Trek.
It cannot be worse than Star Trek.
It is
Paramount.
fucking worse because these idiots in the 90s sold off the rights to Universal for some fucking reason. So now in less than 2 years' time, all the rights revert back to Universal. And Mattel has zero say over anything.
Yeah, but I was just going to bring that up
because
you guys were saying about She-Ra. Like,
She-Ra's already over there.
Yeah, by the time She-Ra would come into the story, who's to say this isn't going to be canceled? It'll revert back to them anyway.
Well, that's the thing, is they've only got so long to get this shit done, and that's why they're pushing all this shit. That's why there's so many toys on the shelves right now, because Mattel, and we've brought this up too on the main show, is that Mattel only has a first refusal right now. That means anybody can make Masters of the Universe anything. If somebody comes to Universal and says, we want to make this, they go to Mattel. Mattel's like, we're not interested in that. They can go to anybody else and make it.
And that's another thing with the toy sales, because it's like there happened in this last year, there's been a major vacuum on toy shelves because Star Wars shit, the kids don't want it. Most of the stuff that gets sold is Transformers, right? Then there's like some little mainstays like
He-Man's actually
Power
selling
Rangers
pretty good.
And some DC toys sell pretty good. Sometimes Marvel, but they don't have Ninja Turtles on the shelves anymore. That's
because they fucked that.
Yeah, they fucked that up. So that's not on the shelves. There's no big movie with toys.
And we missed a couple of super chats from earlier.
So He-Man toys was a perfect thing to fill that vacuum and just have something new to buy for the kids.
Well, it's not just that. It's got the collector's market and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But I want to bring up some super chats I accidentally missed. Sorry about that, guys. Paulus Plain asks, where the fuck is Andre? Dudes. Andre is sleeping because he only got 3 hours of sleep last night, poor guy. But we'll talk about the Dune trailer and everything like that with him tomorrow morning. I'm sure by then we may have even seen He-Man. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says Kevin Smith's career is about to go the way of the Dixie Chicks. Calling it now. Never piss off your fan base. That's a good point.
Yeah,
he hasn't really insulted them as far as I can tell, but he might, as long as he doesn't insult them. Like direct.
Well, it's more of a gradual. Come on, dude. You know what I mean?
He kind of has, but it's been everybody else, and that's where the whole "we're crappy fans" comes from. It's not Kevin's words, but it's
because the closest thing I think I've seen him do on Twitter is like he says like one cat says that he got their date wrong. Like that's a specific thing. That's not one. That's not saying a generality part. So I haven't heard any sort of generality things as like man babies or any of that yet.
Technically, I mean he's weighted in that, and again, to be fair, a lot of what some people are going off of are what the reviews and the interviewees and the articles are positing, not what Kevin is saying. And that's another thing. All the reviews I read are completely bamboozled and don't understand that this is under a completely separate IP because they keep saying it's a direct sequel. No, it isn't. It is not. It has to be 25% different. And Kevin has already confirmed this. There is no, Kevin, Midnight's Edge is making this shit up again. No, this is 100% fucking confirmed up front. There is zero connection to this and the Filmation series whatsoever. They've been able to muddy that, right? But there is no technical connection. That's why they have to do things a certain way. So we're going to get into this, and I guarantee you that there's things that the normie reviewers didn't notice that we're going to start picking apart. That we can say that's different, that was different, because there's also been things and changes made to the characters throughout the years that have been done through Mattel and shit that I can't even keep track of. And that's what I was saying earlier, as far as like who even Faker is anymore, because there's so many different versions of these different characters and other characters that have had variants and they've changed things on, and there's other names and stuff that we'll eventually maybe get into in other videos. But a lot of that shit happened way after the rights thing.
Bro, whoever negotiated these deals must have been like a family court attorney, because it's like a bad divorce, bro. The
It is. I don't know.
Whoever decided this was best for this universe, for this fandom, this fandom universe of family of characters. That's not even correct, but you get what I mean. Whoever decided that this was what was going to happen must be a bunch of idiot lawyers who are just.
Well, this was done in the 90s, and if I'm not mistaken, Universal owns She-Ra, right? They have She-Ra.
Yeah,
technically, yes. I think that is already reverted, if I'm not mistaken, and that's why there's technically a separation. Because there's a caveat to the separation. You're right. As long as when the rights revert back, they may be able to just do whatever with it then.
Because if the He-Man rights go to Universal after it's lapsed, that would put both those properties under one company again.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, and that's what I was kind of saying. With
another thing, if this goes to Universal, does that mean they could get rid of the Men in Black ride and put it in the He-Man area?
That's up to them, because they don't. I mean, that's like a deal with Sony and Marvel, I think. Anyway, as far as that goes, because Sony owns, I think, the film rights, and the rights to Men in Black are underneath Marvel now. They were under.
Yeah,
Marvel.
how does that? Now, if you make a ride of a movie and the ride is old and sucks now, like how do they say, "Hey, your oldest riding"?
Well, I think it all has to do with contracts and
the branding contract. So it doesn't even matter at that point. They can renew the branding contract, or they can rename it, because that's what's happened in other theme parks that were.
Well, and it's the same thing with Marvel, because
studios.
Like
Disney's but if you have the contract, you don't necessarily have to have it up, or do you?
No, you do until the contract ends. Yeah.
There's also the deal right now with like all the Marvel characters, because they're under contract to Universal, and Disney's been trying to get the rights back for the parks, so they can do shit in one park, but they can't in another. I don't remember how all.
So works, if these initial reviews hold up to be true, and how are you going to feel about Kevin after the fact, or is, I mean, are you, because you've been. I get it. He's an inspiration. Look, he's an inspiration to a lot of people in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons. Me, no, I'm done with the guy. But I never had an attachment to him like you did. But you do, and I'm curious.
No, right? I mean, let's be real. Like, I found Kevin Smith right away, early on. He was my intro into independent films.
Yep.
I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again real quick. One weekend after the movie came out, I had the house to myself with a couple buddies of mine, because my parents went camping, and we watched Clerks and Friday on a loop, because all my buddies had not seen it. So we just watched the shit out of it. And then Mallrats came out, and I was the first one to own that.
Mallrats is an excellent
same thing with
film.
Chasing Amy and Dogma. I had the script for Dogma early on. I was a big runner on the View Askew news site before it was even officially part of the View Askew universe. I remember hanging around there. I was a huge fucking Kevin Smith fan.
That's why I think that all of this is just him playing the game. Like, he probably figures you're going to fuck this up anyway, so I might as well get a paycheck off of it. And if in the meantime I make 2 or 3 changes to the show to make it slightly less gay, then that's okay.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's more than willing to go along with whatever, because he doesn't have any investment in it. You know what I mean?
No, he's at the point where people are investing in him. I mean, he's the one who was crazy enough to put $28,000 on credit cards to make a movie, and then he got famous off of it. So now people are paying him out the ass. So make that money, dude.
Well, no, and I mean, there's a part of me that doesn't blame him at the same time, but at the same time, what difference? I think the point was made by one of you guys earlier here. Like, what difference would it have made had it been Kevin Smith or somebody else?
Well, it's just the thing, man, because let's say you get somebody who does care. It doesn't matter if you give a shit. It really doesn't matter if you care, because it's going to go through bureaucracy of 18 different people who are going to change it into something else anyway. That's the way this industry works. That's why everything sucks
script
now.
Would be able to probably...
Well, not always, but in some cases... In some cases, it depends. If the more money that's involved, the more voices you're going to have with the shaping of what's going to happen. Unless whoever is either the director or the main producer is got more influence and more clout than the rest of the plebs, so to speak. In this case here, we don't really know the infrastructure of what's going on with this show. We know that Kevin's the showrunner. He's got some staff writers, but we don't know anything really about the producers above him and what they want, what they're going for. And yeah, we don't know like the details.
Well, we
of what
kind of have
Netflix
an
is wanting.
idea. He flat out said he's doing whatever it is that this producer for Netflix wants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He flat
there
out
you go.
said that.
All right. Which is, guess what? Crap.
Maybe we don't know yet. It
We're
hasn't
the
come out
crap.
yet.
Remember that.
Oh,
We're the
I'm sorry.
crappy
That's
fans.
right. Sorry. I forgot. I kept forgetting. I'm crappy.
We're
I'm
the crappy
one.
fans, not him.
That's right. I'm the crappy
Action
one.
Hero 2000 says Smith is probably killing off Orko because he's the most pure-hearted character. He thinks the audience won't expect it. No, he exactly said why. I mean, there's no secret.
Yeah,
He flat out thinks we hate him, so he's trying to get us to love him.
Can we talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar for a moment?
Well, Script
Sure.
had something else to say, but go ahead.
Oh no, I would say like we're looking at a still from the episode right here. That animation is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is.
it looks
At least
gorgeous.
they're getting something right. So we can start on that and be like, that's one part. But like I would still say be cautiously optimistic
Mhm.
because again, we never know. We don't know exactly what the execution is like. We don't know what type of themes are going to be going into the characters. But yeah, I would probably agree with the reviewers that they're saying that it's primarily a Tila-centric show. We're probably going to be seeing a Tila-centric show. And that might be a disappointment for a lot of people because as great of a character as Tila is, why not balance the story out with the entire Masters of the Universe as opposed to just focusing on one?
Just like it always was. That's how the stories were.
He-Man.
That's how the stories were done back in the day, and that's how they should be done today.
Well, I could have
that's actually the complete purpose of having characters. It's so that when something needs to happen, there's someone to do it.
I could have wrote this better. And it's real easy. Even it's probably using similar beats that they're going to use, but it's real easy. If this is supposed to be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, basically you have He-Man semi get defeated in the beginning and Skeletor killing the sorceress and taking over Grayskull. So he has all the power. And then it's basically He-Man trying to figure out how to get, take out Skeletor. And it all does boil down to Tila, which it's supposed to, which she just hasn't realized her power yet till near the end. And that's when you have her blossom into the new sorceress and fuck up Skeletor. Like, that's all you got to do. Like, and you can still have your cake and eat it too. It's everything it's supposed to be. It brings the female empowerment into it. And it doesn't make He-Man a secondary character. It just makes him with a problem he can't overcome when he knows that the answer's right in front of his face the whole time. It's Tila, but he's got to bring that shit out of her.
So I'm okay with that plot line so long as at the end of the episode, she goes and makes him a sandwich.
Well, they end up having kids eventually.
She would never do that anyways. Like even the original Tila wouldn't do that.
I was joking. That's a joke.
Well, no,
I'm
and
trying
that's
to
what
make
bothers
funny.
me about it. And Andre and I were bringing up that point. No, I know you're marking, but we were bringing up this point earlier. Like, Tila's already like a dream character for these people, and all they're going to do is make her worse because she was already everything you needed up to the nth degree. She's not a Mary Sue, but yet she's fully capable. Adam is her foil. She's loves
strong
He-Man.
as well as feminine, by the way.
Exactly. She's strong as well as feminine.
Right.
He-Man does not worry about her as being incapable, just worries about her as a friend. Like that's the other part too.
Exactly. Like he always knows she can take care of herself. I don't ever remember an episode where He-Man's like, I gotta go save Tila, like right now.
He-Man,
blah, blah, blah.
He-Man gave her his sword in the second episode of the series to use to fight against a giant monster. Like, come on, man. Like, there's clearly a lot of respect.
And I never second
thought
any of that shit, right?
Yeah.
You made me second guess. You suddenly remind me of Drawn Together with Xander, where he's like, I'm on a never-ending quest to save my girlfriend. But he's obviously flamboyantly gay, and he runs like cloth.
That's the way the show ends. Is like, oh, He-Man, I love you. Let's get married. He's like, I'm sorry, Tila, I'm gay.
It's like, okay, all right.
I'm in a relationship with She-Ra.
Wait, that's
anyways.
But
nobody
knows that She-Ra and He-Man are brother and sister on Eternia. That's only
not
on
anymore. No.
Not until they had a bunch of really funny-looking kids.
Go tell your sister wife to get in here. Supper's ready.
That's Southern Eternia.
Someone say Southern.
Yes.
Some would say Southerner.
Skeptic He-Man does not like that. I don't know. That seems pretty sus, he says. I need the echo.
So is that
How's my
outfit?
Can you imagine He-Man with Foghorn Leghorn's voice?
Yeah.
I can.
What are you looking at, you idiot? I love these original cells. These are awesome.
He's like, I'm not looking at anything. I'm taking a dump.
I'm taking a dump, Skeletor.
How come everyone laughs in the same way?
And then here's Prince Adam walking in on him taking a dump.
I mean, look at that outfit. He's not gay.
I just want to know where he found the purple feathered beast that gave rise to that man thong.
He got it from Beastman. I'm telling you, Beastman controls all the beasts. He went out and got for him for an
Holy
anniversary
crap. D. That's all the
Holy
name
shit.
is. D sends
That's
in 100
obviously a typo. What do you
Australian dollars. I hope it's not. My issue is not so much that they are doing with the show. It's more not so much what they are doing with the show. It's more that they are just not upfront about it. Exactly.
There's
Love
that
the
too,
channel.
Yeah.
Enjoy the booger on me.
Booger.
I think he means burger with
Burger.
the AU dollars. I hope you really meant to send that much, dude. If not, please let me know. We'll definitely
Yeah, we'll send it back to you if you hit an extra zero.
Yeah. I would not like to have that screw up on anybody's plate. I've been there too. Actually, I accidentally sent a $50 one once when I meant to only send a $5.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. It's all right. I got over it. All right.
But
So
seriously, who does his hair?
No, who does the man thong? I mean, that thing's got to be itchy. You know?
everybody keeps saying that I'm gay.
Secrets were revealed to me.
Secrets were revealed to me when he pulled out his magic sword. He said, "Rub on it."
I have the power.
And he said that.
He-Man.
And
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
exploded.
whoa, whoa,
And he said,
He-Man.
"Now you're a man."
Everybody getting a chorus line.
Aurora Uplink says, "He-Man was fabulous. They are disempowering gay men."
Do you remember on the show a couple weeks ago? It somehow came up how I was when I was a kid. I dressed up like a Smurf and I painted myself all blue. Well, me and my cousin decided that I was going to go as He-Man, and I actually put on a blonde wig and went trick or treating with the blonde. Can you imagine my dark ass skin? And I had that blonde ass. My mom gave me a blonde wig. She cut it off, and yeah, it was an awful look. There's no pictures of that remaining. It was awful. It was awful.
Well, I got to say this much, D. Thank you so much. That is very, very generous.
Yes, it is.
Extremely generous, and you have no idea how much that will help us. Thank you for that, and thank all of you guys for everything you've done. I appreciate it so much.
You know what I love about this chat stream? Everybody's engaged, and I love reading the chats and reading the stream as everybody goes. Not just the super chats, everybody's comments. It's a great stream we have here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, man. I love it. They're like real fans. They know their stuff, and everybody's, whether they're being funny or insightful, it's a great stream. You guys are awesome. I just want to tell everybody, whether you super chat or not, you guys are just amazing.
Yeah, for instance, I love this comment from Wolf Council. Why does he get tanned? Where do his clothes go?
It's all part of the magic, son.
Same questions can be raised for She-Ra.
She-Ra. Now He-Man is getting some good head. That's funny. Look at this. I gotta find.
Oh my God, no! Ray Moreno is renaming Mexican Iron Frijole. Ray, on the other night on Latino Slant, Paulie called me Iron Beaner, Mexican Iron Beaner.
He did.
He did.
I called you worse than that, but anyhow.
Yeah.
That reminds me though, Linda, I gotta find this picture here. This made me fucking laugh so hard.
Which one?
I can't get any deeper.
Take it.
Why is that his left leg or his right leg so narrow?
Because it's probably meant to be cut off. It's probably two different cells.
We need the Star Trek music in the back.
That's not very romantic.
Well, I don't know if that's a very romantic scene.
It looks pretty.
I'm not nice.
Does it feel wonderful?
I feel the power.
There's part of the thumbnail.
Nick was hoping.
Take it.
No.
You'll never get me, Skeletor.
Nicholas Horton.
Nicholas Horton sending in £5. Yes, pounds. And also a member. Thank you so much. Some of the plots and revelations Kevin Smith just ripped from DC Comics run. Skeletor kills Sorceress, dystopian Eternia. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. I just hope they don't take 10 years to get where we know they're going. And we already kind of see that. Unfortunately,
There's
and I love Filmation too. It's
Is
awesome.
this a real still, by the way? Because people say this show is homoerotic, but God
this
damn.
is two cells put together, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
By the power of Grey Ball.
I think that's He-Man pushing off.
I knew
using his
Skeletor would have a
super
boner,
power.
and he revealed magical
Skeletor
secrets
laughing.
to me.
Or he got thrown or something. Yeah.
Or thrown, yeah.
Somebody just happened to find these two perfect cells and married them. They were married.
How do you know they're not dancing disco?
Dancing. Is that Disco Skeletor?
Do the hustle.
Yeah,
That's closer to the bump, really.
doing the hump, doing the Humpty Hump.
All right, PC5 Metal says, who has the rights to 2002 He-Man series?
I think that's between whoever owns the entity, which would be Classic Media through Universal, and then might have some ownership under Cartoon Network or whoever it was that I don't know.
I think Cartoon Network had the distribution rights.
Yeah, I think they just had distribution. So I'd imagine it's probably underneath Universal's. Good luck finding that series. It's hard to find. In fact, Andre was bitching because he couldn't find his set.
I know it's on YouTube. There's a few YouTube channels that have the whole thing. But,
I have it, and I gave my other copy away too.
Trickier,
yeah, I wish I hadn't given it away now, but I mean, still have them because I bought the big box set, and I'm like, oh, it already has the discs in there. They're exactly the same, so I just gave away the single box set. But anyway, Drew the Comic Elite says, thanks to Kevin Smith, I'll be enjoying the Masters of the Universe movie this weekend. Franklin Jello was a great Skeletor. Yes, he was. He was a great Skeletor. If anything, that's one of the highlights of that film.
Yeah,
I agree. Goddess of Whim says she's so glad she didn't miss the show. Well, we're so glad we didn't miss you here at the show. We love it when all you guys can make it. You got all our lovely wrenches in the chat, including Sander, who's the loveliest of them all, I'm assuming, and Six, of course, and the rest. Thank you so much for being here. You guys help us out a ton, and we don't ever thank you that enough. We do send you Oreos, but they get a little moldy in the mail. Phantom Mercenary says, is Skeletor a human or an undead leech?
No, he's of a certain race that doesn't really exist anymore, but he is really into black magic.
Well, he's a half
skeleton. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's technically half and half. I can't remember the name of the race. Andre even brings it up in the.
If he was normal, he'd be dead. Let's look at it that way.
Yeah, anybody in the old He-Man universe that's blue skinned, they're all from the same race, and so is Trapjaw.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it now. It's a real short name.
I can't remember it either.
Yeah.
But yeah, like magic is used to keep Skeletor alive because he lost his face.
Yeah,
right.
It's Hordak's fault, dirty bastard.
It was a bad scene, man.
Oh,
they did a pretty decent job retelling it in the 2002.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the version I want to see as a movie.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That's never gonna happen.
Oh, Gar? Is it? He's a Gar.
Why?
No,
That
that's
makes
a
sense.
Gar. Yeah, that's a Gar.
They never go with the obvious things that the fans want. It's like that's what fan service is.
Why is
It's
6
not
upset?
putting an Easter egg in?
What did I do to 6?
Sander, you called Sander.
I was being sarcastic. 6. Clearly being sarcastic.
It's a fight for Tom's love. Lightsabers at dawn.
Well, we all know who has my love.
Shira?
No.
Oh. Orko?
Yeah.
Sadie.
Well, yeah. You know how much she cost me at the vet today?
$457.
Half that, but damn near it.
And all they did was wait.
We were sitting there waiting for Human Duck. That's all she knew.
See, this is why my son wants to be a veterinarian.
She was
Just
really good.
charge people whatever you want.
She was a bit whiny on the way there and the way back, but she was really good. She was really good. So, actually, I might have a picture of her. Yeah.
Shum says you have Dolly Parton and I get Betty White. What up? Thanks, Shum. You rock. Thanks, bro. No, thank you.
Ding, ding, ding. Stumble out of bed.
Bang.
To the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and love.
Banging Tom 925. Betty White has a way to make a living.
Are we going there again?
No.
No, we're
I'm
not.
trying to find a picture of my dog for Pete's sake.
Oh, see, isn't she
Come
just
on.
right behind you? Can you turn on the camera?
No, I know, but she was being a good girl at the vet.
Aw.
She even jumped right up on the thing.
Oh.
She got in. She's like, I get treats.
She looks all healthy. Why she go to the vet?
She's a good girl. Well, she has an ear infection.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, the vet found like 5 other things.
You know which one is
Those are some big ears.
Yeah, that I think she got it from splashing in a pool. Is what happened. She got some
Woo!
water in her ear. If I had to take a guess.
Uh-oh.
But anyhow, no, I mean, this looks so awesome. This is what I wanted. There's Scareglow down there in the corner.
Mm.
Well, that is not what you're getting, Tom.
No.
I want this epic fucking battle that's right in front of me.
That's
here.
not happening.
No, that was pretty awesome.
That is cool, bro.
Now that's some 70s Bush.
That is cool.
That's totally 80s awesome. That's what that is.
Yeah, look at it.
I
And
know.
see, you can actually go from left to right, up and down, and look at all the different action figures and characters and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but look at this shit. This is like He-Man. He's got like the metal suit. He's living his best
Yeah.
life there. Look at that shit.
Yeah,
And Skeletor's
Oh,
got
so
like big
good.
claws, you know. You got Moss Man. I love how like a couple of these characters are just fucking inserted over the actual art, which is funny. I remember having this idiot. Didn't everybody have Extendar? Because nobody fucking wanted him, but everybody had him.
No.
my buddy had him. In the apartment complex I lived in, he had him. I didn't have him, but he had him.
I don't know. Somebody messed with it. There's a bunch of toys, like newer toys over top of it. This
No, I
isn't-
definitely had that ninja dude on the right, though.
I got him now. I got him. Ninjor.
Ninjor.
Yeah, I got him.
So
painted.
creative with these names.
They were awesome fucking names. Just no nonsense bullshit.
They're like, let's get a bunch of random letters and vowels and consonants and
Fucking
throw them out
It's
on the
like your
table.
name is Tom. Your new name is going to be Tom.
It's like-
It's Ninja, but he's got webbed feet. So
It's
he's
like
Ninjor.
everybody got high and started playing Yahtzee or something shit. Like, oh, okay, he's Patukator.
No, He-Man, I can guarantee you back in the day when they're sitting there, like you've seen the Gremlins 2 Key and Peele skit, right? That's Mattel back in the day. It's like it's in the line. You know? You guys know the skit I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What? No. Do you know it, Jesse?
Oh,
I don't.
for fuck's sake.
It's been a long time since I've seen Key and Peele. So
Yeah, we're at a loss, Tom. Sorry.
I never watched that show. I was too old.
I never watched it either, but this has got to be one of the most brilliant. I don't care. We're going to get a fucking copyright claim from Comedy
We always
Central.
get copyright claims.
We always do. So fuck it. This is our copyright claim because I'm sure people in the chat at least
it's
know.
like
We,
20 it's
you've
like
gotten
20
copyright
cents,
claims for
people.
shit you just said. I
No
mean,
shit, right?
I mean,
Right, that thought is trademark.
That thought's trademark. We're the thought police. This is one of the most hilarious fucking things ever.
all right, let's take a look.
Gremlins 2. I'm telling you, this movie should write itself. The first one's a classic. This should be pretty straightforward. Basically, all we're doing is maintaining the integrity of the original picture. We want to do all the stuff with the water and the. Can we help you?
I'm sorry. Let me introduce myself. Hi, y'all. R. Magic Jackson Jr. I'm the Hollywood sequel doctor. So studio just brings me in to oversee things when they about to drop a deuce. So that's why I'm here,
They
but
about to
don't
drop a
mind me.
deuce.
I'm just gonna be over here. Y'all do your thing. It's your movie.
Okay.
I love this.
Let's brainstorm. Adam.
If it's going to take place in an office building, I was thinking, what if Gizmo gets wet from a water cooler this time?
Okay, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to step in here just 1 second, sweetheart. So what's wrong with y'all? Y'all looking like a bunch of sad sacks. This is G2, people. We're writing Gremlins 2. It should be a party with pizza and anchovies, pineapple. Just come on, lift up the spirits. Look, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of spice into the mixture here. What if we did this? Everybody here gets to design their own gremlin.
See that the gremlin design is broken.
It's called brainstorming, not brain drizzling, sweet pea. Okay? Shut your mouth for a second. Look, here's the thing. None of this is final.
So you mean like, what if there was like a brainy gremlin?
A brainy gremlin. You talking about a gremlin with glasses who could talk and sing New York, New York? That's brilliant. It's in the movie Done. You said that nothing was final. That was before I heard the words brainy and gremlin in the same sentence together. It's done. I love it. It's in the movie next.
What about a spider gremlin?
You mean a gremlin with 8 legs and a thorax just catching pretty ladies in a web in an office building? Oh my God, it's in the movie. I love it.
What about a bat gremlin?
You mean a gremlin with leathery wings just flying around, flip-flopping, bust through a wall, make a perfect bat symbol in the wall, get outside, get in some wet concrete, jump up on a building and just dry in place like a gargoyle gremlin? We are cooking with gas now. I love it. It's in the movie next. Should there be a female gremlin? Lipstick boobies, bitch, you have me and little gremlin but JJ. I love it so much that it's not only in the movie, but it's definitely in the movie. There's no backseats on that one. No 20 backseats. Yes, in the movie. Done. That's why we need a woman in the writer's room. Next.
Oh, no. A googly-eyed gremlin?
But you do know, because you talk about a gremlin whose sole purpose in this film is just that he looks stupid as fuck. Yes. It's in the movie, and it is in the movie. Done. Next. What about you, Silver?
Oh, electricity gremlin?
You just said noun and gremlin, like you playing Mad Libs. You just like a child. You have the brain of a child. You do not have a high IQ, but you haphazardly came up with a gremlin that's just made out of bolts that is zigzagging all over the room and is done completely in animation. You a crazy person, and your idea's in the movie. Next.
Can we put the Hulkster in it?
What? You talking about putting Hulk Hogan, professional wrestler, turned actor, turned cultural icon in the movie where he break the fourth wall of the movie he's in by talking to the audience. You are a raging psychopath. Don't let this town take that away from you. That's it. I don't even care anymore. We got the Hulkster in this, so it's done. I don't have any more time. So let me just recap right now. It's brainy gremlin, spider gremlin, bat gremlin, lady gremlin, googly eye gremlin, electricity gremlin. Hulk Hogan's gonna be in the picture. I'm gonna throw in a gremlin myself. Vegetable gremlin. Just write it up. I'm having so much fun. Thank you. It's
I'm
already
not.
in the actual film. Now I gotta go put some Cowboys and Back to the Future 3. Sayonara, y'all.
That is exactly
Okay,
how
you
I
guys
picture
know that
Hollywood.
none of that is going to be in the actual movie.
That's what I love about that.
You'll never see a writer's room that nice looking.
No, it's,
That's a
It's more like folding tables and old takeout
Yeah.
containers.
yeah.
Fucking old.
It's pretty
Oh,
basic.
dude,
It's
shit.
basic stuff. I mean, the nicest you'll see is like maybe a gray carpet and a window.
Wait.
Wow.
You guys don't get like you guys don't have
people
like
be more creative with some nice stuff and some color, maybe some ambiance. No,
It also depends what studio you're into, but like usually it's just a typical blank neutral conference room office.
but
or
you guys get good catering, right?
what the writers before the show starts? No.
Oh. I mean, so that you guys can focus on writing, and then they bring in the good food so you can keep your focus. No,
No, gosh, no, they don't do no.
Oh shit!
The only time you get that type of stuff is usually if you're in like programs, like certain like union or studio programs with writers' rooms and stuff. Do they have like full craft and all that? No, normal show stuff. There's no actual real production going on. It's all developments. So you there's like either the studio cafeteria or you go for lunch or you know you
know what they needed? You know what we needed that we didn't get? We didn't get a food truck Mexican gremlin. We needed one of those. That would have been like awesome.
you're right. We needed. Well, they did have the little mariachi group.
That's true.
So
Yeah. I love gremlins.
I love Gremlins too. Like that fucking skit is hilarious. I can't believe you guys never seen that. I don't even really care for Key and Peele either, but that one just makes me fucking laugh because like it's so fucking funny. Like I would come up
for
with
people
something
wondering
like
at home, that's what Tom's like when he comes in. You know, when we're
that.
behind.
I am
You know, like Mike, what are you doing? Script, what are
in
you
the
doing?
show. You are a fucking psychopath, and it's in the show.
Rubber My Burnett, you're gonna bang Mexican Iron Man's ex, and that's gonna be in the show.
That's right. Dash D says, I didn't know where there was a Script Doctor biography. That's what Script Doctor does. He comes in and he fixes shits.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone come in and do
They forgot
that.
Lenny and Carl.
Well, now we know why they don't recognize him on YouTube, because he acts like that during the day.
They even forgot Lenny and Carl in that mix. There's the grumpy gremlin and the dumb gremlin. Lenny and Carl. I actually know all their fucking names.
Yo, I love that shit when they did Urkel.
Yeah. Wait, do you own Gremlins too? Do you have the physical media?
Of course.
Okay, do you have it in 4K though?
No, it hasn't been released in 4K, but the first one has.
Oh, I don't have the second one. I have the
They
first
did
one.
forget a muscular gremlin or an Arnold gremlin. That would have been funny. That would have been fun. If they had like a muscular gremlin, like a beefy one.
Wait, I don't have the first one in 4K.
They also forgot to say Gizmo becomes Rambo.
Yeah. Gizmo becomes Rambo. There was a version of Gremlins 3 I came up with where he decided to be the Terminator in the third one, though.
Shit, you know what, Tom? You're making me think about all these movies that I own that I don't own the 4K version of, and I don't have to go back and look at them and see how crappy they look at without being in 4K now.
Oh, well. You'll have
Shit, I got like 100 of those things.
When do you go to the theater and you're like, wow, this looks like shit?
And I agree with you. Aurora Uplink says Key and Peele have some good sketches, but Chappelle, oh yeah, Chappelle's a fucking god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, yeah, Gizmo. That's what I called him back in the day too. But like, yeah, my version, he ends up getting a leather jacket and sunglasses and becoming the Terminator when he goes after the Gremlins. Because my version of Gremlins 3 was like kind of a meld between the two. It's still goofy and crazy, but it still brings it back down to earth a little bit. So, but it'll never happen. Because they don't let actual fans make movies.
Fans have a difficult time being objective enough to do something interesting.
Well, I think
like
I'm not saying that mine's probably the best idea in the world, but it was because there's some bits like I probably would just trash now. Like,
yeah, but don't get me wrong. There's always exceptions to that rule. That's the other part too.
Well,
right?
like the opening was going to be like Mrs. Doubtfire, where it opens with a cartoon, and it was going to be like a Saturday morning cartoon of Gizmo, and then you scan out, you pull back from the cartoon, and you see Howie Mandel doing Gizmo's voice. And then you pull back even farther and you see Billy and Gizmo in the other booth watching him do that. So it's basically, Billy's now an anime, got this animated show based on Gizmo. Like all the things they talked about at the end of Gremlins 3 became true. And they live in the new Kingston Falls outside of New York, Clamps Falls or whatever. Clam Falls, like all that stuff set up. And, that's why I love that commercial, because he actually had a daughter like that, basically, in my version. I don't know where the other Gizmo came from, but like that was the whole thing. And that's what happens is like there's this whole thing with Futterman, and they're trying to get to the bottom because they find it got all cattle. The thing that set it all off was there was some people cleaning out the old police station at Kingston Falls, and they come across this petri dish that has what was left of Stripe in it. So these scientists do a bunch of tests on it, and they figure out what it is, and they recreate Stripe is what happens. And so he's like this genetically altered version of Stripe. And then that brings in, kind of the nuttier Gremlins again. And then, shit starts happening, and it's all, it's just kind of the same kind of thing again. But like, that was kind of the catalyst. But then there's also like another leader Gremlin who's like fighting for the leadership with Stripe. So you even have a infight with the Gremlins. So that was kind of another part of the story. So I don't know. It sounded interesting to me like 20 years ago.
I had the cutest little Stripe in my room for the longest time. Then I boxed him up, and he got sold
did it
along
suck
with my
script? How
Chromebook.
was my pitch?
That's
He
not
fell
bad.
asleep. Well, Futterman was supposed to be a big part of it too, but of course he passed away now.
Yeah.
Because like they actually go back and they try to figure out where the Gremlins started from. So it actually kind of overlapped with some flashbacks to World War II, where we actually get to see where Murray's seen the Gremlins in World War II. And then that ties in with Mr. Wing finding Gizmo, and it's his fault that there were Gremlins in Gremlins 2 is what we find out. It's kind of like the roundabout story, because they go find Mr. Wing's grandson, and they talk to him, and he tells the whole story about how he found a cave full of Mogwai, and that's why Gizmo's the only one left, is because the rest of them ended up turning into Gremlins, and those were the Gremlins that were in World War II, and yeah, so it all kind of ran around on itself kind of thing.
Well, that's why he knows the rules.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all this. Yeah, he learned the rules. Exactly. There was enough Gremlins to where he learned each one of the rules, basically. Yes. But I think that's partially what they're doing with this new series too. So any of my ideas would be out the window now anyway. So endless silence. My story sucked.
No.
I was thinking I'd rather see that, tell you the truth. That'd be a good story. I like backstory, as long as it's.
Well, I just
good
thought it
and
kind of
makes
was
sense.
interesting how the two would collide, you know, and then
Mhm.
you know the whole thing with Stripe would give somebody the catalyst to want to go back and trace back the origins of the Gremlins and find out where they actually came from and all that kind of stuff. So
Maybe
And
Kevin
what's
maybe Kevin
Billy's deal,
Smith will
though?
be.
what was
What?
that script?
What's Billy's deal in the story? Like, what does he want? Because he always wants something, right? So
Well, in this case, he's just kind of like that's the thing is he's more or less warning everybody throughout the entire thing, and nobody fucking listens to him again, like in Gremlins 2.
No
well,
one
in
listens to
Gremlins
him.
2, he also wants to make an impression with the boss.
And yeah, well, yeah. See, that's the
kinda
difference
need
here.
that motivation to start things off.
See,
with.
here it's more so he finds out what they're up to and he tries to stop them because they come to talk to him about what happened, and he's like, "You can't be doing this stuff. Like we already know. Like it's hard enough for me to handle Gizmo, and I'm the only one who has him, kind of thing. Like he's a one of a kind. Like that's where he comes involved, and when he takes off to go and stop them to try and do stuff, that's where he leaves Gizmo alone with his daughter, and she ends up fucking up and starting. That's where there's two different groups of gremlins, and that's where you have the one with Stripe and the one with the other king gremlin that I came up with that has like a crown of horns. So he's like, yeah, so he's like a badass kind of
That
like
sounds kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
I would say what you're missing there, Tom, is I would do the inverse with regards to your opening. I would have Billy trying to get Howie Mandel to do the voice for his cartoon pitch that he's trying to sell,
Okay.
so that he can pay for his daughter.
Don't matter now, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because
Yeah.
the thing is, you always need that motivation. Because like Billy had that motivation in the first one. He was saving up money for a new car, right?
Right.
If I remember correctly. Second one, he is trying to get in good with the boss so that he can get married to Phoebe Cates.
Well, I have a smaller motivation for him.
You can't have a small motivation. You got to have one that's like predicated to incite the rest of the incidents. So if he's like pitching this series and then they're like, it's based off, and then they find the guys that in the studio find out, oh, it's based off this guy. And then you have that wacky, like ancillary department within the studio. It's like, hey, we're doing genetic stuff because, you know, big tech, and let's get our own gremlins so that we can do our own competitive show, like a live action one. And that's how they kind of roll things all over there. And then basically that's where Billy is like, no, you can't artificially create a Mogwai. It's got all these problems with it. And then you have
maybe
that
that's kind of where he was getting involved, is because they were trying to reproduce the Mogwai and sell them is what they were trying to do, and they kept fucking him up is what it was.
But if you do it in the
they were reverse engineering it from Stripe, yeah. And then that was the other motivation, is they find out Gizmo actually exists, and that's where he came in, is because they were trying to kidnap Gizmo, but he was with his daughter, and that was the other thing I was going to say, is his other motivation is his daughter's at that age to where she wants him to trust him, but he don't yet, kind of thing, and that was where the whole thing with Gizmo with the rules again. So you have like her kind of taking over a little bit more of the responsibility role, and she fucks it all up just like her dad did. And like I said, that's where you had two sets of gremlins. Then you had the genetically engineered ones, and then because all that kind of shit. So yeah.
But would it be possible if the grandpa, who's still, if he's still alive, works for the genetically engineering company because he invented something that actually worked?
Well, unfortunately, Hoyt Axton is actually dead.
Yeah,
you could set something up. Well, that was the thing, is I figured at this point Billy would be financially stable, working for Clamp all these years. Mm-hmm. And so this was kind of like just like this is what he's been doing for all these years. So that was kind of what it was setting up, so he's kind of just at this point with it. And then these people start coming at him with questions about Gizmo and Gremlins and shit, was where that kind of brought him into that part of the story. But again, like, this was not like it matters now. We're just fucking talking about shit that'll never happen. But like, like the whole TV show thing was just kind of a joke, like a one-off joke in the beginning to kind of pick up where, Clamp said at the end, I see him on suction cups and on windows and all that kind of shit.
Merchandising,
yeah, the merchandising aspect, like Clamp would have pushed the shit out of that for years, but like, everybody loves Gizmo, but they don't realize he's a real thing. And then, like I said, the whole thing kind of backtracks from Kingston Falls, where these scientists find out about this whole thing, and then they're trying to reproduce the Mogwai, but they're trying to reverse engineer it, and they're screwing things up, and they recreate Stripe, like I said, but then he gets out and he goes out and makes his own.
There is no longer relevant. Once you say create Stripe, everybody knows what's going to happen left. But like, if you bookend it to the point where Billy's like saying, I finally got the opportunity to do my dream project, which is I get to be I'm a lead animator on a cartoon show about, Gizmo, and he's trying to sell it. And then you have a competitor coming in. It's like, I'm just going to steal your idea, but I'm not going to do a cartoon. I'm going to do live action. And that goes into creating Stripe, and boom, that's where you're off to the races. And then you just hit the end note with he gets his show, and Howie Mandel's doing the voice audition for it. and you bring in oh crap, John Glover, right? Yes.
Well, yeah, he's the president in mine.
Yeah,
too.
you bring him in and be like, I like this guy for the voice. I think we should go with him, and then boom, you ended there. After all the
Maybe.
hijinks. And then you just make fun of like studio productions, like you have it at a studio lot, like with Clamp Studios, and it's just haywire. Props and
That
makeup
could be.
department.
Now you're talking a little bit different, like, because I'm not so sure about the competing shows idea, but maybe like the whole idea of like the Gremlins taking over a studio lot. Now that interests me.
Well, no, that's how you have the start of it. Like it's just one like a crappy producer who's never had a hit, and he's notorious for stealing. And
Well, then you don't even bring the Stripe
bring him in
element
and bring
into
him
it.
out, because
If you're going to do that, then you just kill the whole Stripe story altogether. You don't have
No,
that
all right.
story.
If you're gonna kill the Stripe story, I'll take
That's
Stripe.
not a big story. That's just an exciting incident to create Stripe.
I think this whole idea
And then
sounds
those guys
insane.
die, and then
Well,
Stripe is
here's
gonna
where I
wreck
kill
the
that,
whole
as I was saying, because what you have is that if you have the competing guy, what you have him do is actually kidnap Gizmo while he's being babysat by the daughter, causing Billy not to trust his daughter anymore, and all that kind of shit. Like, and that would be a little bit more of that story. But see, that's where you just eliminate the Stripe aspect of it. You don't even need it then, because then as long as you got Gremlins everywhere, and this guy who had no idea what the fuck he was doing took Gizmo and fucking like that's enough right there. You don't even need.
Yeah, you could do that. You could have a funny thing where it's like he calls up Ivan Reitman. He's like, we're doing a Ghostbusters, but it's all women, and then hangs up. And
Well, of course it'd be Warner Brothers, so they'd make us use all Warner properties. But
Warner properties. But yeah,
imagine you got the Gremlins driving the fucking Batmobile through a goddamn set.
Signing Zack Snyder to a 20-picture deal.
Can I borrow Stripe in order to leave him at Kathleen Kennedy's desk?
Yeah. Well, then just basically just have like another Stripe-ish
clone
is all you
Well,
have.
actually, you can even have a really funny meta joke.
You can still use
where
the King one, is like I said, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
You have this meta joke where you have all the Gremlins running through all of Hollywood, causing a muck, and none of the normal citizens of LA even register.
Exactly, like they all think they're just some special effect or something that got out of
either a special effect or just another crazy homeless person, doing what they do on the
Are they
street.
making that new Harry Potter movie down the way or something? There you go. You also have them fucking invade Harry Potter.
Yeah, you can make fun of the Gremlin casting couch.
Well, that's the best part is you can have them invade all these movie sets, like like Pee Wee Herman at the end of Pee Wee's Big Adventure and shit. Like that's what I could picture. That like you have the whole big set piece in the center be like, the Gremlins take over like Warner Brothers Studios. Like you have them in the offices, like pass.
No, there'd be if anything, it'd be green light everything.
Green light, yeah.
Boy.
And then you got to bring the brain gremlin back somehow, though. You just got to even if he just shows up for some fucking ungodly reason,
You could do it funny. You could have an actor gremlin that acts like the brain gremlin.
There you go. I am an actor.
Reminds me of Calculon on Futurama.
Me too. Till they raid the Harry Potter and no one notices until 5 kids die.
There you go.
Yeah, the Gremlins 3 Gremlins are purposely overdoing woke. Well, we also got to remember there is a gremlin still left that we all forgot about.
Who?
She,
The one that's married to what's his name?
Greta. Yes, it's still alive.
Greta.
What a hunk.
Yeah. She traps him in the bathroom.
She's basically the Pepe Le Pew of Gremlins. That's what she is.
Yeah.
Now then teeth.
I love that bit at the end. He's just like, well.
Is that that's Robert Picardo that she marries, right?
Yeah, Robert Picardo. You got to have him come back. That'd be the better part. You don't have him so much come back, but you have like 4 or 5 fucking like Christmas cards.
Yeah. With the family.
That's what I'm saying. You got to find a way to combine the goofiness of 2 with kind of the groundedness of the first film. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. So that's where I also had this thing where like in the genetic aspect of it, where they're talking about it, they realize that there's anomalies in Gizmo. Like that's why there was different kinds of gremlins in 2. And it's like there's a cycle like that he goes through, like, and then so that's why every so many generations you get a king gremlin. And that's the one that's the pain in the ass badass one, like kind of thing. So that was where that one came in, and that's where he had like a territorial thing with Stripe, but you don't even need the Stripe aspect of it, really. I kind of like the idea of just doing the Gremlins take over Hollywood bit, and nobody really notices until 5 kids die. That just reminds me of the joke in the original script that never made it into the movie, where they took over McDonald's and they ate the people and left the burgers.
That's pretty funny. I like that.
Oh, the first script is like very dark. Like they
killed sword in it and stuff.
Well, the whole thing was like this. Billy was like younger, and he was like.
You always tell me about the script, but you have to send it to me.
Oh, I will, dude. It's an amazing script compared to. I mean, it's different, and I still love the film, but it's kind of like it's a totally different movie at the same time, because like the whole setup's a bit different, and then the Mogwai, there is no Gizmo. The Mogwai eat the dog. That's how they that's how they turn into gremlins. They eat the dog after midnight, and they end up killing Billy's mom, and they roll her head down the stairs when he comes home. Like there's all kinds, like they are just vicious as shit in the original novel, the original script. And yeah, there's this whole thing where they take out a fucking plane of people because they get they get in the air traffic control. There's all this shit that they do that's like not even in the movie, and how the movie ends up is actually like Critters 2, like the end of Critters 2. They end up, because there's this deal where they don't like to be separated, so they end up trapping one, and they end up making them all follow him into a warehouse, and they trap him in the warehouse and blow him up. Well, they end up forgetting about the one they have in the trunk of the car. So that's what sets up another sequel at the end. But like, yeah, it's like almost a completely different story, but the same ideas in there. Billy's just like a 15-year-old kid. He draws all the time. And that's where some of them elements are still there. He draws this guy, the troll hunter, who's kind of like Conan. And that's where the sword came in. So like in the original script, as he went through the story, he starts as like this nerd. And then by the end of the story, his clothes are all ripped and he's supposed to look like his comic book character. You know what I mean? So then Kate falls for him and all that shit. And even her name, I think, is different in that version too. But like, yeah, he's just a kid in the original version. But yeah, it was different. It's cool. I'll have to send that to you sometime. And on that note,
lately I've actually had a tiny bit of time to read, so it's been good.
Well, I was going to say, on that note, I think we pretty much beat all these horses to death, unless there was anything else. Yeah, it was pretty savage, Animal.
Can I complain about that Z movie?
You know what's cool is the novel. There was an adult version of the novel that I think carried kind of that tone over a little bit in some of the bits, because I think even the McDonald's bit is still in that novel. There's actually a flashback bit that opens up the novel. Like, what is that, a prologue, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like it's just a flashback to World War II, and it's got these two pilots talking back and forth, talking shit. And then one says he noticed something out of the corner of his eye, and then the other one does too, and they keep freaking out, and then all of a sudden the plane goes down, and all you hear is cackling, and that's it. It's like that sets up the whole idea. It's like
yeah, but when they do that, they're just like committing suicide themselves, right?
They don't give a shit. That's the whole point. Like, do you ever notice them? They don't care.
They really don't, but I always just assume that they figure
them,
little
that's
shit
hilarious.
won't hurt them, but
that's why I think Joe Dante got it. Like, that was his whole thing. Is like he got the adding that Looney Tune element to the script is what really kind of brought this from being a typical horror ghouly kind of movie to being what Gremlins was. And this was this cultural thing that like everybody knows the rules, everybody knows Gizmo, everybody knows what a gremlin looks like. You know, they're still joked about to this day. How we don't have 5 movies is beyond me, but I'm kind of glad we only have 2 in a way, because I don't think Gremlins 3 is going to do anywhere. I mean, the ideas we were just talking about are great, but they're never going to come up with anything good like that.
No. Plus, also the comedy was the movies were reflective of the comedy and the society we were in at the time. There's no way that we could bring back those movies in earnest to the modern era.
Gremlins 2 was an anomaly because they begged Joe Dante to make a Gremlins 2 for years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, where do you go from? He's like, I'm not just going to do the same thing again. Right. Yeah. And that's what he kept telling him, is like, and every script they have, he was either Gremlins. It was just basically the same movie, only bigger. He's like, it was Gremlins take over New York, or Gremlins take over Chicago, or Gremlins take over. It was the same fucking story. He's like, I don't want to do it. So they finally begged him to the point where he's like, all right, I'll do it, but I want this much budget, which was like 3 times the original budget. He basically made one of those deals that people make when they think that they're finally going to tell them, go fuck yourselves. so they'll leave you alone. And they just said, yeah, go ahead and do it. And he's like, I want to be able to do anything I want. And I mean anything. Congo. And yeah, let me tell you, Gremlins 2 was written on some fucking cocaine, as you saw in that scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like, go for it. And they gave him, I think it was like $40 million. And they're like, yeah.
So you're telling me this whole purpose of this gremlin is to look fucked up and stupid as shit. And that is in the movie.
That is.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Gremlins 2 actually, at the time it came out, flopped.
What? I don't know about flop, but I liked it.
It didn't do very well at all, especially compared to the original.
Well, but everything's like that.
It also went up against Terminator 2, if I remember right.
Yeah, bad window release.
I'd be back.
Back in the day, it was so hard because everything that you love was up against some other movie that you love.
Well, Gremlins 2 now has got that cult following where people like, where I'll even argue it's just as good. It's like The Godfather 2 of those kind of movies. Like it's just as good as the original. In some cases, it may even be better.
Better than Godfather 3.
But you can't have Godfather 2 without Godfather 1. So just like Gremlins 2, you can't have it without
Gremlins 2
1.
has more memorable. Well, in my opinion, it has more memorable scenes, quick scenes than the original. In my opinion,
Was Gremlins 2 in 1990? Okay, yeah, Gremlins 2 was 1990. My bad. I thought it came out the same. What else came out in 1990 that fucked that up? There was something else that came out that summer that got in the way of it. Was it Dick Tracy? Oh, Dick Tracy. That's what it was.
That had a huge marketing push.
Dick Tracy. Yeah. It opened up like the week or two after Dick Tracy or right before.
God, I had so much collectibles of Dick Tracy leading up to that movie. I bought everything.
You know what's funny is that movie did amazing and Disney's like, it just didn't do good enough because they were expecting it to do as good as Batman. It's like, in what fucking world is a movie going to do?
Dude, I had the watch. I had the hat.
60-year-old lead.
I had everything. I had the watch, the hat.
No, Dick Tracy did very, very respectable.
Jesus, everything.
Well, back in the day, I just remember the Dick Tracy cartoon. You'd always want to see Dick Tracy doing stuff, and they just gave jobs to other people, and it was just an annoying show.
And I love that movie. It looks great. It's one of the few movies where I can say it looks like a comic book.
It definitely does, but that doesn't make it good.
I thought it was a good movie.
I thought it was a good movie. How did you not? You didn't like it, Jesse? You got to be kidding me. Come on.
No, because it's just like, even as a kid, I was just like, this is too fucking cheesy. Like, this isn't. They're trying to. But they're going for Batman, the '60s Batman level cheese.
Jesse, you're like
and
that.
They just didn't pull it off.
You're like that 10 or 11-year-old that was in my class that had like beard, facial hair, huh? You're like way older. I mean,
I have gotten off of the school bus and went into the package store before.
Is it not a show where we don't disagree with Jesse on something?
Well, I mean, it's like Jesse must have been 10 and a half, and Jesse's like, buying, antiperspirant and shit.
I gotta. That's what chicks use. We call it deodorant.
I gotta admit, in Jesse's defense, I will say this: like a year after seeing Batman, you're sitting down to watch Dick Tracy. I can get where he's coming from. But I didn't just give a shit at that point. I was just like, this is great.
It's a totally different.
And I watched it like 2 years ago. It still holds up.
I like that movie. I think it was great. I thought
he was just underwhelming. Let's put it that way. Because it's like when that level of camp that
Dick Tracy doesn't fly. He's not like bulletproof. He doesn't like what does he do? Jump over like open condom wrappers in a single bound. Come on, dude. It's Dick Tracy. He's a detective.
But I don't know.
He's not a billionaire.
Remind me of 60s Batman were not the fun.
I get what you're saying to a point. My biggest complaint was them killing all those fucking bad guys in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Why?
That was my only complaint.
Why?
Was like they had all these cool characters and they get killed right away. It's like
yeah, but it's not like
and Al Pacino. Well, no, I'm not bitching. That's like my biggest complaint. If that's the only complaint I got, that's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and the kid was kind of annoying too, but like
the kid was uber annoying, but you just dealt with it.
Yeah, you just dealt with it. I don't know. I thought it was. I'm talking more like the like I don't know. I felt it still held up. I just watched it like 2 years ago and on Blu-ray, just regular Blu-ray, not 4K. It looks pretty good.
Wasn't up my alley, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that with you, Jesse. You got to have more blood and tits.
Not necessarily. It just didn't do anything for me.
No, Jesse needs mature themes and shit.
Not, dude. I collect Christmas specials.
That is true.
Wait. Whoa! You collect Christmas. Jesse collects
I
Christmas
love how
specials.
this just jumped to that.
Like rated X, NC-17 Christmas
No,
specials.
no,
Or like,
he's probably
No,
talking
I've
about
never
Rudolph
even
and shit.
I've never even heard of one of those.
like Miracle on 43rd Street kind of shit.
No, like the Muppets Family Christmas from 1987,
Yeah, see,
or
you-
like
wait,
Garfield Christmas special on DVD, or the Pink Panther one. I have a few of them.
Okay, let me see how hardcore you are. Do you have Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
No, not my style.
Well, what are you talking about then?
Exactly. That's like 10 of them right there. You got Snowman, Kris Kringle, Santa
Yeah,
Claus
but
is Coming to Town.
Yeah, that's
I'm-
those old stop motion ones.
Yeah,
man.
those
That's
are those are the best ones.
Yeah, but it's
Mr.
also kind of cliche, is it not? I mean, that's like what you're
Mr.
supposed to. That's what you're supposed to like.
No,
I'd rather just get some shit from the '80s when I grew up.
I'm Mr. You know who you are? You're like Mr. Miser Christmas. That's who you are.
The heat miser, or the
Yeah, you're
cold
the heat miser. You're the heat miser.
You think I'm going to end up living in Miami and become a ginger?
Yeah, because you had facial stubble when you were 10 and a half years old and you were going to the CVS for deodorant.
Yeah, but I was all, I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of like that. Cup of coffee in my hand.
Yeah, exactly. You're like getting rid up in the hallway, not because you're late for class, but because you're puffing on a cigar.
Yeah. Like, hey, you guys make us walk all the way down to the gate, then I have to walk all the way back here, right? Then I need a bagel, and
Like, hey, where's the cream cheese? Forget about it.
yeah, I had to wait. You know how it is. You've been down there. You've been to the cafeteria. You know how the line is.
Jesse,
You just gotta talk to
Jesse-
teachers like they're people.
Jesse's in the cafeteria line and he's like, "What do you mean you don't take credit cards, huh?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, fucking Jesse.
Yeah, I had a job in high school.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you had a job in elementary school.
Yeah.
You're like, I need a hall pass because I got to show up to my factory union job. That's Jesse. Right?
No, man, I just worked at a grocery store. I had a shitty job when I was a kid.
So humble.
Oh Lord. You know, we've been talking about garbage for the last like 20 minutes, and I can't believe all you people have hung in here. Thank you. I
We're
love
talking
you.
about Christmas.
I love you all.
We've been talking about Christmas, bro.
So this is Christmas.
Dun 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 dun.
And who was I supposed to do Foghorn Leghorn's voice again earlier as? Was the He-Man characters or Skeletor?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know,
you missed that earlier.
You know, I can do more than Foghorn Leghorn. That's not even one of my better ones.
You're kidding.
No.
Okay. Here we go. Pepe
Oh, you
Le
want-
Pew.
Oh, well, okay.
Ah, got you. Stumped you.
The moon is so beautiful, is it not? Hmm? That's not my best one. All right,
No.
let's keep moving. Beep, beep. Yeah. What's up, Doc?
Oh, that's good.
Close.
My better one is Daffy. Daffy Duck. You're despicable.
Then there's Fluffer and Succotash. And then there's Yosemite Sam.
Oh, you're
And of
good.
course, everybody's always heard me do a little bit of Elmo Fudd.
Damn,
I'm-
Mike.
I've got too much white male rage. They took away my guns.
I have to release my throbbing member from its weather prison.
And then, of course, there's Foghorn Leghorn. I say, son, that's not a chicken hawk. Let's see who else is there. God, I forgot them all.
Tweety Bird.
Nah, Tweety's hard because
Yeah, Tweety's hard.
they would speed up Tweety. They didn't tell you that. They would used to speed up when he'd do Daffy sometimes too, but they wouldn't tell you that.
Oh, really?
You got no Sylvester in you?
I did Sylvester, Fluffer, and Succotash.
But can you do his son?
Oh, father.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Porky. Yeah, swine.
Wait, can you do the Martian guy
Do Marvin the Martian, of course. Who can't?
with your PS 232? What's it? The two
PS 38, or I don't remember. That's the easiest one, of course. Why for did you bury me in the cold, cold ground? I always love that episode.
That's the best one.
I know.
Another one that was the best is the one.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Remember when he used to talk?
Yep.
And then they took away his
Bugs Bunny fixed that. After he had that fight with Bugs Bunny with that giant magnet, he never spoke again.
Was that too much like Kermit? Sorry about that.
I think that he just like fucked up his head with one of those big metal objects that went into his cave. I think he was on.
Which one sounded like Fozzie Bear? I don't know.
Okay. All I know to do with Fozzie Bear is you always go and say,
That's another one that sped up.
Yep, that joke was a little fishy,
Edward Cullen.
just for the hell of it.
Wait, which one? Edward Cullen. Let me think. Anyway.
Indeed.
Who did Edward Cullen do?
I don't remember. It's late.
Edward Cullen. I know the name. I'm trying to remember. I just drew a complete blank. Who does fucking No, I'm not doing Edward. No. That's a fucking character from Twilight. I can't quit you. I don't know how he fucking sounds. I never watched that shit. I immediately need Jeff Goldblum to go with Richard Simmons and I don't know if I could do Jeff Goldblum. Can I do Jeff Goldblum? There's Chaos. I do kind of a half-assed
I
thing.
don't know. Can you?
Not
Just
really.
talk like him.
Yeah, he's kind of, I don't know, he's an off one. There's a few people who can really nail him. Richard Simmons is just flaming. Yeah,
That's more like Kine. Crap, what's
Yeah.
his name?
Fort Phil and his Andrew. Everybody can do it. Andrew Dice.
Yep. Hey, what's the vagina? It's the box of penis gums in.
Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen, on the other hand, would be Optimus Prime, if I remember correctly. And then the one I do the best probably would be what's his face?
Rod Thunderheart.
Yeah, well, no, he does like Winnie the Pooh and shit now. I can't think of his name.
Oh, right.
He always pops up in just about everything. He always does like side guys that are whatever.
See, Maurice LaMarche can do like one of the best Orson Welles.
He's good. Yeah, he's good at
He
that.
could do Vincent Price too.
Yep.
Vincent Price.
Oh, and Peter Falk. He does a really great Peter Falk.
Well, that's Jim Cummings. Yeah, Jim Cummings. That's who I was thinking of. Yes.
Jim Cummings. Yep.
I can do a pretty good Jim Cummings. Most Jim Cummings voices I can kind of.
Can you do Amy from Congo? Yeah.
Amy's sad.
Good Amy.
Good
Amy, good monkey.
Tickle. Yeah, Jim Cummings is awesome.
He's Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
Do Wahlberg? What? No. No.
Say hi to your mother for me. That's Walter. That's what I got to do.
I have a question. How did Darkwing Duck lure Launchpad McQuack away from his lucrative contract with Mr. McD? Was there a falling out there that I just
What's
wasn't
funny is
privy
I
to
heard
as a
those like
child?
were somewhere under some weird kind of deal, like because he never really mentioned anything from DuckTales, did he?
No.
No, he
Yeah.
never did. He acted like he never lived there.
I can't remember what the deal was with that, but there was some weird like fucking.
And you know what really happened was that he crashed and he killed Abigail. I'm not kidding. Well, how else would he got kicked out?
Let's
He
get
doesn't. He
McQuack.
doesn't. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't. He doesn't. You know, use it for
God.
clout. He worked for the richest guy on the planet. You're not going to mention
Oh
that?
my God.
No, why? Because you killed his niece.
Mm.
You know what's funny is somebody bitched at me the other day for doing too many voices.
Really? Well, fuck
Andre?
that person.
Was it Andre?
No, somebody
No.
just
Just
tweeted me
tell,
out
just
of
tell them,
nowhere or
look, they're
whatever.
no fun. Stop being no fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well. I think it was like the day after I was doing Foghorn Leghorn. Because that's a hard voice to break out of. When
Yeah,
only
you
voice
were
I
on
could-
that one for 2 days.
I could kind of do a couple of voices. I like to talk like Goofy, like After this, we're gonna go get liquored up and shoot at some rats.
Shit. I used to be able to do like a bunch of them when I was a kid, but not so many anymore.
I smoke too, so I never know what my voice is gonna.
You used to be able to do pretty good Roger Rabbit as well, but not so much probably. He's loud. So
yeah, that's hard.
Anyway, you're no fun anymore.
Who?
That's what Lindsay says.
Oh.
Andre was getting a bit triggered with the. Yeah, I don't think he likes Foghorn Leghorn.
No, he doesn't, because we're like sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I can snap out of it. And Andre goes, but I wish you would. You didn't even hear. Did you hear when he said that?
Yes.
I was just like, oh.
I got flashbacks. Oh, Goddess of Whim sends in $2 for the love of Tom's voices. Well, thank you. I do a few. Like Skeletor. Ebert.
Oh, dude, he was such a dick.
Yeah, I can do
Looking back, Ernie was really bad. I figured they were brothers. He was a bad brother.
I think I could go in and play the Godfather as a potato. If I played as a potato, nobody knows. I do the voice. I was just saying it. He had his legs and his arms ripped off.
You want a Mr. Potato Head Godfather, Marlon?
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, I don't think we can afford the rights for Mr. Potato Head. We have to cut some of your pay.
Okay, well, I'm not wearing pants.
Wait, what?
Deal.
Wait, what?
That's a true story.
Why not?
He is not wearing pants through most of
that
movie. The which one was it with the Frank Oz directed it? God damn it. Not the Italian. What was one of his last movies?
Oh, the heist one, right?
The heist one, yes. Not the Italian Job, is it? No.
Doesn't that make it harder for everyone else on set?
The only time he wore
the
pants
scene
was during
seriously?
the swimming pool scene.
Yeah, there's only a couple shots where he's actually wearing pants. Otherwise, he refused to wear pants.
I ain't wearing no pants.
It's just bizarre.
I wear a moo.
It's just like, how fucking lazy are you?
I'm not lazy.
It's not that. It was all to see how much Martin Brando could get away with.
It's freeing for my craft. See, if my balls are free, then so is my mind.
No, he wanted just to wear his boxer shorts. I think it was.
That's right.
Was he just dangling out the front, or was he
right?
The score? That's it. Yeah. Yes, the score.
I scored all right. I'm Marlon fucking Brando. You bet your ass.
Yeah, he's Marlon Brando. He can do whatever fuck he wants. That's pretty much it. Frank Oz just had to take the shit. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You got Brando, right? And that movie was like way below his ass. Like, I don't even know if that was really something Oz should have been doing. It was kind of the movie itself was not that great.
It's kind of forgettable.
Yes, very forgettable. We forgot the fucking title. That's how forgettable it is.
But yeah, it's got De Niro and Edward Norton in it and Angela Bassett.
I know, great cast, but it's
cast, yeah, but
horrible. And Frank Oz, what were you thinking, man? Like, he's made some great fucking movies, but
yeah,
people forget that he directed Bowfinger.
Yep, he did. He directed.
How do we always get back to Bowfinger? You ever notice that? We always end up back to Bowfinger.
We haven't talked about Bowfinger and
movie.
We haven't talked about Bowfinger.
Yeah, it's weird because it wasn't like a huge film.
It's been at least 3 weeks.
Well, to me, it's like one of the most underrated movies. Like, it's should have got Oscar nominations out the. If Eddie Murphy deserved an Oscar for any movie, it was for playing Jeff in that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, that is his crowning achievement right there, if you ask me.
Well, he was completely insane.
I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, well, that's Steve. Like, Steve Martin wrote that.
Yeah, he wrote it. Yes.
So he took every trope that he dealt with in town and put it into one movie. Because that's actually the case there. Like, you meet chauffeurs who are screenwriters or makeup artists and stuff, and they just talk to you about their work, and they always have great stories. So
it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I don't know if I can do a Chris Walken. I'm not real good at Chris Walken.
You know, every year, when I do a movie, I act real sad and I don't talk to anyone. And someone always comes over and they say, "Hey, Chris, what's wrong?" And I say, "Well, today is my birthday." And no one remembered. By noon, there's always a cake.
Says that all the time.
My
I think you do that
impressions
like
are
3
garbage,
times on
but
a movie set too, when you had different when you with different cast.
it's a good idea.
I had this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass.
5 hours to cringe fest. Yes. Yes. Hey, you need some.
No, I'm giving this rise to you. So yeah, that's about the best I can do with Walken. It's just a lot of like.
He just does
It
weird
almost
shit.
turns into Travolta after a while.
He's like, "How about I stab you in the face with a soldering iron?" Does your
like
mother
that.
sew? Tell her to sew this.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about the Dune trailer. The
Good
Dune
trailer.
trailer looks
Oh, we did.
we're going to talk about it in the morning, so I didn't really want to get into it too far.
I saw Batista's dumb mug. Then I saw that girl from
they
Spider-Man
saving-
who's not Mary Jane, and then I'm like,
Are
"Oh,
they
yeah,
saving
I'm
any
done
of the movie for the movie? I mean,
That's a good question.
it's a 3-minute trailer, but damn, they give away most of the movie.
That's a good question.
Well, some of that is like premonitions in the trailer, not even of the. I mean, it's of the movie, but it's just Paul's premonitions, his foresight, so to speak.
Yeah. Bill Murray, I don't know if I can do a Bill Murray voice.
Bill Murray doesn't really have a
shtick. Not enough to where you can really like, yeah. I mean, even Chevy Chase is another one like that. It's like they have such. I mean, even it's hard to do Belushi. I can kind of do Belushi, but they took.
Dan Aykroyd is just Joe Friday.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd's one other toughie.
All right, we got some Jawas. I'm watching this Dune trailer. Got the chick from that other movie.
haven't even watched
got
it
some
yet.
flares. I wanted to save it for the show. Okay, there's the Batista's stupid face. He looks like he can't
Be sure
understand
to tell him
crayons.
Marge sent you.
Girl's got really blue eyes. That's nice. Spider-Man
Thank you,
girl.
Clay Thomas.
Kid waking
Cobra
up in the
Commander, I
bed.
cannot do. That is too high. It's like really. Ugh, I can't do that anymore. No.
Retreat!
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, I can't. No,
I'll kill those Joes.
that's a pretty good one. Yeah, you did a pretty good job.
Shredder,
my
on the
voice
other
higher,
hand,
but
is
it's
much
smoking too much.
easier. Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
See, I think Shredder's hard. We got Aquaman for some reason, Star Wars shit. Some
Pee-wee's
guy from
easy.
Star Wars.
Everybody can do Pee Wee.
Now we're having a little stick fight. Now we're in Wakanda. There's a guy who played Thanos, I think. Now we got a desert. Okay, got some more
He
people.
said that was kind of hot there.
There's that guy from Star Wars again, the pilot guy. He got cucked.
The pilot.
Now
What are you
now
doing a
here's some-
play-by-play right now or something?
He is. He's
Yeah,
doing a play-by-play of the trailer.
All right, we got a guy with a breather inhaler thing. He's giving this bitch a dagger. Introspective black guy. Raised the dagger above your head for some reason. Now he looks like Loki, putting blood on people's heads. Now we got some ritual. Batista looking up with his mouth open like a moron. Okay, now was that fucking the guy from NYPD Blue? Ships. Big butthole ship. There's some guy. Firefly. Okay, now everybody's dead anyway.
Firefly?
That worked.
I think he means the Thopter.
Like it just the fire, like the show.
I don't even know, like the bug.
Dash
It's like a
D's
big
coming in with another
dragonfly.
Canadian $5. Says, "Oh hey, I finally watched all of Tomorrow War. It was good, but it reminded me of a video game RPG. Yeah, it kind of had a little bit. Again, it's not like a great fucking movie, but it's not bad. I mean, it's enjoyable enough. Will I ever watch it again? I don't know.
It's
don't
far
know.
more silly than it is.
I watched
action,
it.
Action
I watched
adventure.
it twice.
Did you?
I did. I watched it twice, beginning to end. I watched it twice.
Have you
I had
guys
that
ever
much
heard
fun.
of you guys ever hear of a Mongolian death worm?
No, and why would you even know about that, Jesse?
Because I was on High Strangeness for a year and a half. But a Mongolian death worm is like a 4-foot snake it's a cryptid, so they haven't proven its existence. but it's only about 4 to 6 feet supposedly, but it's red. But unlike a snake, it's not really a snake. It's supposed to have a mouth like a sea urchin with the like the round set of teeth.
Oh yeah.
But that's what this thing reminds me of, a Mongolian death
sandworm.
worm on crack. Because if they could get to be hundreds of feet long, yeah, that'd be an issue.
Okay, and next on Coast to Coast in the middle of the night.
Yes, Coast to Coast AM. Call up with your crazy stories.
Yeah, like the dude that is in space and shit. They need to make a movie about that.
Indeed.
Tom, did we lose
I was
you?
dealing with something quick. Sorry, I'm here. Anyhow, bye bye the sailor man. Yeah. More voice shares. I think it's we've gone 3 hours, guys.
Oh
We've gone
boy.
3 hours. But we've had well close to 400 plus people watching all night. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. You guys
I
have
had
been
fun.
amazing.
I had
As
a
always,
blast.
we have a blast. Like every one of these shows lately has felt like one for the record books.
It doesn't even feel like 3 hours.
No, it doesn't.
You let us stroke around and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Dune trailer. I say check out our show tomorrow morning. We're probably going to deep dive into the Dune trailer a little bit more. I think it looks good. I think they might have gave a little bit too much away. I'm surprised it's playing really well. The trailer itself has gotten well over, I think, close to 2 million views already. So
It was covered. The boys watched it on Midnight Edge Espanol earlier today too. Just so you know.
Brian Barth wants to know my thoughts on Marlon Brando. I think he's great, but he's obviously a difficult actor to deal with. What if he was on a modern production? Would he break a lot of SJWs?
He wouldn't care.
I don't think he'd care. Yeah, honestly,
You're working with me. I'm not working with you.
I'm not gonna wear no pants.
Gotta breathe.
I gotta let the boys hang free, you know, because that way I really can get in the character, and I know where I'm at. I gotta read the temperature of the room. Do you know that there's more nerve endings in the male testicle than any other point on the body? So if I can have them free, then I know I can feel the aura of the room.
Yeah, plus, he put on a lot of weight in the last few years before he
Somebody
passed.
ordered me a pizza. I'm gonna wait, make it 2 pizzas. I might want a snack for later.
yes. Sadly, Marlon Brando is no longer with us.
Yeah, he died a while back.
If he was,
2004, I think.
yeah, it's been a while. And if he was still with us, I'm sure he would be a big pain in the ass. He always was.
Fuck yeah.
But he was Marlon Brando, so I'm sure he'd still be.
You should do
doing
that,
his
Tom.
thing.
Do random stories with Marlon Brando and just like make something up like 2 minutes.
I was gonna be in a movie once. It was gonna be about Jesus, and I said I'm the Messiah, but I wanted to do it as a bagel. I said I worship bagels because I'm a bad motherfucker like that. And
Jewish people, tend to like bagels.
They like bagels. They like bagels. They do.
like them.
I might be Jewish.
Do you like lox on the bagel?
Schmear too, yeah.
But it's got butter.
That sounds very Jewish.
I don't care. I like butter. You know what's better than butter?
Margarine?
Steak.
Well, it's kind of dairy.
Well, you know what? You got the best of both worlds right there. Because when I make a steak, I use about a stick of butter to do that bitch. So
Yeah,
This one time I went out with this girl, and then I came home. That's the story.
That would be my Marlon Brando story. Just like nothing. Just like I don't know.
Yeah, just random thoughts with Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I used to play with my nipples underneath my Godfather suit.
And then I found a third one.
I found a third one. You know what my
Wasn't
third
there
one?
last year.
I thought maybe it's cancer, but I didn't care. It felt good. It was right during the Luca Brasi scene.
Then you just go into a random, ramblings, and then you have to put subtitles that are like incoherent.
And Joey, the answer to your question of what Masters of the Universe character would Marlon Brando play, it would obviously be old He-Man after he's let himself go.
Yeah.
I used to be the master of the universe. And then I was reading this article in People magazine the other day about this boy who grew an extra arm. And
I could become He-Man, but I forgot the words. So I never wrote them down.
but I said to the guy, I said I could play He-Man, but I think it worked better if it was a chair. But not any chair, the chair that Clint Eastwood talked to.
The Republic National Convention.
That chair's got it's got clout. It's got panache. You know, it can bring out the beauty of the sea. It's got talent. The world was focused on that chair for 5 minutes. But I really, really like Dunkin' Donuts. They're the best, especially the ones with pink. You ever have a pink donut?
Yes.
Yes.
I had a pink donut once. It cost me $1,000. It was in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And she looked just like the guy that divorced Dr. Dre.
Tom, check the private chat.
You guys must have missed that. That was a callback. I'm pretty sad of the attorney. My secrets of grade school are like beyond this world. This is Cringer. He's my fearless friend. But actually, that's not true. Every time shit happens, he goes and runs and hides. What am I supposed to do? You can be a man, Cringer. Okay, I'm not reading that fucking thing. It's Brando. Marlon Brando is Fat Thor's is Dash D's. I like to play the video games. Video games are good. I like the Ninja Turtles because they come in there and they beat up the bad guys. And that's what I like. Stella. Okay. My Brando has my true. Your Brando has my true Bolton. Oh my God. How'd I get in Marlon Brando? I like it.
Comfy.
It's comfy. I like his belly. It's nice and soft. It's like a waterbed. You gonna come bounce on my belly? Oh, of course, man. It's like a jungle gym. You know, it was in a movie with the animals once, The Island of Dr. Moreau. I made him put my friend, the little guy, in there just because I tried. It was the greatest. And then I had chicken for lunch.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
All right, kids. I think we've killed it enough. As Stephen Hahn says, roll credits. I think I've killed Marlon Brando for tonight. Again, I killed him.
Good job.
For a second time.
Well, the first one was
Clay's like, I could
cholesterol,
listen to this all
mainly.
night long.
It's like weird ASMR. It's just Marlon Brando.
Well, that's what he talked like. He would just randomly talk about shit. And people would listen. And sometimes you would think he would just make shit up just to see if people would listen. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'd like to hear him talking to Gary Busey for hours.
Oh, God. Gary Busey?
He's too sporadic, and he comes up with the acronyms too fast to do it.
I
in
killed a man in
impersonation of-
Detroit once. Then I brought him back to life. It's a true story. Dash D says, okay, you've reached the spot between the third and fourth beer where everything's funny. Weirdo ASMR. I just did a lot of that just to whoever it was that bothered me with that the other day. It didn't really. I don't care. I love constructive criticism. I don't care if people make fun of me. Even I love that kind of shit. I'm not above any of that kind of shit. But if you're just gonna come at me like with some nasty like your shit sucks, shut up, kind of stuff, you're gonna just get my attitude back, right? And then I'm gonna go do shit like that just.
That's when the response is, yeah, it sucks. D's nuts, bitch.
Well, and that's where it's like, I'll apologize. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to wait in line to suck my dick with everybody else. Oh, shit.
I hope you brought some meat pads because we're about to party.
Yeah. Brando ASMR.
Yeah, just like read random headlines and just rip on them for like 90 seconds, and that's the video.
I was watching TV the other day. There was this little guy in there. He was stretching and he was moving around, and I don't know what he was like, made of clay. His name was Gumby. I was like, he's a little green guy. You ever seen Gumby?
Yeah, that's not new. That's like 70 years old. That's not new.
It's not new.
No.
I
never saw that before that?
No, I never. Not except for the time I was on LSD.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him like come in my room and he's like, I'm Gumby, damn it.
That's what vacations are for.
It might have been Eddie Murphy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It might have been the actual Eddie Murphy.
No, I'm serious. Like Eddie Murphy come and tuck me in. Yeah.
He tucked you in?
I like it when he reads me stories. My favorite one's a Little Red Hen. You ever hear the Little Red Hen? It's my favorite story ever. It's a little red hen, and she's gonna make bread. Everybody else is like, Little Red Hen, I'm gonna eat your bread, but I'm not gonna help you do it. I'm not gonna help you make the bread. So Little Red Hen's like, fuck you. And she ate all the bread. Now she's some fat bitch. Because she ate all that goddamn bread. Poor story.
That's true.
She never married. Never married. Never got a cock. That's
because he wouldn't help.
That's what
I.
That's what a male chicken's called as a cock.
She had a farm too.
She had a farm, and it had a pig, and it had a duck. I had a chicken that wasn't her though; it was a different chicken.
I think it was a hen and then a sheep, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's weird though, because it's like.
So who else besides me would have the balls to say, "Hey, Marlon, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Nobody ever had the balls.
I would. You're just raptured by this speech.
I would because dude, you remind me of Abe Simpson.
Jesse, I'm gonna hit the SAP button. ¿Cómo que la chingada que estás hablando, güey?
You remind me of Elvis Presley.
I don't know.
You know, Elvis Presley was the king of rock and roll until he wasn't no more.
Yeah, well, he died on a toilet.
That's the story they tell you, but it's not true. It's not true. He died with he actually died with Jim Morrison. They were fighting aliens on the planet Mars. True story. I was there. It was me, John Lennon, him, and I don't know who was
Morrison?
president.
He said Morrison.
Morrison was there, but Morrison, he's a lizard king. He can do anything.
You mean literally, like he's a draconian?
What?
Okay, guys.
I'm talking about the draconians, the lizard people from beyond the stars.
We know who you're talking about. We know who you're talking about. Hello?
Reminds me of the time I hung out with Steve McQueen. That's a story.
Okay, kids. I think we've killed this. I want to thank all you guys who hung out here for another few minutes. That's the after show. Good night, everybody. Don't forget to get our Amber Heard, or I should say Amber Turd, sorry. Oops. T-shirts. And yeah.
When can we expect to see the next MEAD Radio?
Maybe tonight. Maybe
no. All right. Script, what you got
know.
going on? Anything you got going on?
I gotta go sleep. I'm tired. I've been laughing for a while.
He's out. There's no way Script would be laughing at this shit normally. He's out of it. And Chris Stanley, thank you so much for the super sticker, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah. Did we miss one from Stephanie Janicek earlier too? She's still here?
Oh, I'm sure she's in bed by now, but maybe she's still up.
I'll have to let her know. I'm sorry I missed that one because I see
I'm thinking about going to see Pig tomorrow with my son.
How you have to let me know how it is.
I will.
I'm gonna see it on Saturday.
I'm gonna double check here, make sure I didn't miss anybody else's super chats.
Pig's gonna be the sleeper hit of the season.
So is Fat Brando.
So we got Midnight's Edge tomorrow.
Oh, Dash D said Debbie does the North Pole. Jesse, really, bro? We missed that one. Sorry about that, Dash D's.
Debbie does the North Pole. Is this a real movie?
It probably is.
Well, you're double checking super chats. I'm gonna post up on my Twitter. My buddy Adega Outlaw's got a book of his, and I'm gonna be promoting it this weekend, like I've been promoting Cameron's back. Oh, I finished Cameron's book script.
Nice.
Yeah, have you read his stuff? Have you read it?
I got both his books.
Yeah, so I'm now I'm going to be it's a thoroughly enjoyable read. I mean, thoroughly enjoyable. I'm going to do a review next week.
Got this one, but just to be sure, Fred Sacco said Slimer will be a New Zealand powerlifter who is stunning and brave. I think we got that one.
I think we got that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got the Dixie Chicks one, Tony Todd, Rosie O'Donnell. Where's this one from Stephanie? Okay, here it is. Stephanie said earlier, I think we missed this one. If we didn't, I'm not sure. I've been saying all about this. The agent. This is talking about Gina Carano. I've been saying this about the agents dumping her. She was publicly told they weren't renewing her contract. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry about missing that. If you're still listening, Stephanie. Otherwise, I'll shoot you a message. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just to let
I
you know
think she had
that.
two. She did one, and then that was the second one.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes they scoot right by us, and I swear that since they've changed, they went and changed StreamYard again.
Yeah,
and I think they made it even worse.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that.
Because like they seem to go by even faster than before, where we've been bitching, like they need a separate.
Well, there was up to 600 people in here tonight. It was going pretty.
Yeah, you guys, I can't believe that. You guys have no idea how awesome that is for me.
And it's a lively group too. I mean, the chat that we got, everybody's knowledgeable, they're funny, they're insightful. Sometimes they're pissed off, but hey, it's always a good time.
Actually, Lindsay Six does keep me up to speed as much as possible, and I think she's either working right now too. So, like again, the wrenches do more than I could ever expect.
Yeah,
expect them to. And Mike knows what I'm talking about because he's been in the trenches with the wrenches as well.
Yep.
And he knows exactly what it's like. I've been there too on other channels, so it's a lot of craziness. So. Mecha J, I kind of am. I'm not. I mean, I wish I had more options. I would love to take and do voice acting more often, but it's just
in a world where
I could do that kind of shit all the time. I mean, I could even kind of switch it up depending on what kind of trailer voice you want to. But yeah,
5 tacos, 1 chubby Mexican.
5 tacos, 1 chubby Mexican, and a whole world that needs a Mexican Iron Man.
Da, da, da!
When you need the job done, get a Mexican, not a Mexican.
And what's the stinger, Tom?
Rob Snyder is a stapler.
No, the stinger is it's got titties.
It's got titties. Like a bra, I support boobs. Both of them.
But not on your Mexican Iron Man.
And Mexican Iron Man brand bras are made of the strongest iron this side of Uranus.
Don't worry, we'll get you a nice corset.
Oh, Jesus.
Rod Thunderheart. I want to watch that, says Maharo. How do we say that? All right, kids. I think we've definitely beat this to death. As much as I love to keep going, we're having a good time, and I know it.
I got to go walk the dog anyway.
Yeah, I think I got another show coming up here in about an hour with if I decide to hop on over there with Comics Division. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting for He-Man to drop.
Woo-hoo!
So, Script, you got anything coming up? No?
No, I've just got to go to bed.
Yeah, Jesse, you got anything coming up?
I'll probably do a stream around midnight-ish.
You do that. All right, kids. Donkeys in the rain? No.
Donkeys in the rain.
This sucks. Yeah, it really sucks.